The only thing better than watching football is talking about it. So we invented Reaction Monday.
Sponsored by the Roofing Guys.
The Fan. If athleisure was a radio show, this would be that radio show. Bo Bishop, a man of fine taste and Montana class.
My wife will try and drag me to like an Easter brunch buffet, and I don't even like that because I don't like everybody standing over food I'm going to eat.
Friends with the highest intellectuals.
We found out the hard way. We have white furniture. That's all I'll say.
What a mess.
Oh, God. Holy
Literally.
An athlete, coach, husband, and father.
That drives me nuts. My kids say, I'm him. Shut up. Kidding me? You're 9. You're not him. I don't even know what the hell that means.
And two guys who are considerable downgrades from a former football player. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Oh, baby, let's do it live on a Reaction Monday edition of the program. Bo and the boys with you for the next 3. The great Tyvis Powell is here. The great Reese is here. Austin Ward will stop by at 10:30. Jody Shelly at 11:30 as the Jackets are back on the ice. When I went to, and I know you guys were there on the Saturday practice, I did the show live on the Thursday and Friday open practices all the way back in August. And when you first got a look at this football team kind of fully formed, it was just an overwhelming abundance of talent. And when you first got your real look at Jeremiah Smith, you said, my God, like that is an 18-year-old kid. It doesn't even make sense. When you first got your look at Caleb Downs back there at safety, you said, he covers more ground. He's everywhere he's supposed to be all the time. You got to look at that offensive line, the defensive line. Will Howard slinging it. He's big. Will was a big dude. You look at those two backs, and you'd sit there and you'd look at Travion standing next to Quinshine and go, we got them both. Like, what are we doing, right? And then you'd hear Coach Day, and you'd hear the lead up to it, and you would hear about what the goals were. And he would have a phrase that was kind of the theme of this football team all season long, and it was leave no doubt. Leave no doubt. And one of the things that bugged me this summer, and even in the lead up to this season, was how they were so sensitive to the overwhelming, and it was overwhelming, and it was widely inaccurate, this notion that this was the best roster money could buy. By the way, everybody bought their rosters. Like, the notion that it was only Ohio State was just nonsensical. But the fact that they were bothered by it bugged me. I wanted them to be chesty. I wanted them to be like, yeah, so? Wait till you see what we do next year. Wait till you see what we do the year after that. I wanted that leave no doubt attitude to permeate through the roster. Tyvis, you and I talked many times over the course of this season about where are the dogs? Mm-hmm. Who are the dogs on this team? Where's the edge of this football team? Where is that? I dare you to step on the field with us. I dare you. Where is it? And it wasn't there. And this isn't about necessarily entirely the Michigan game, because this was really for much of this season. You kept wanting this team to go out and bing, bong, bong, bludgeon somebody from the start. And they didn't. They meandered against Nebraska. Probably the best start they had all season was the Oregon game. Even in the first month of the season, there wasn't that leave no doubt feel to it. Mm-hmm. And then on a Saturday in December, they left no doubt. Not a damn bit of doubt. As dominant a performance as you're going to see, it's kind of weird. I mean, we're doing a Reaction Monday show. Christmas is in 2 days. So the calendar of this is a little bit broken. But it's very possible and likely that if not for what happened in the previous game here, this attitude didn't show up. Maybe it took it. I don't know. Whatever it did, the Buckeye team that we saw on Saturday is the Buckeye team I hoped I would see all season long. And they're it now. And there ain't a damn team in this playoff who can play, who, if they play that way, that can beat them. Oregon included. By the way, 2.5-point favorites. Bring on Texas. Bring on Notre Dame, Georgia, Penn State, whoever the hell else gets through. If they play like that, nobody beats them, buddy. Nobody.
You know, I put that tweet out as the game was going on. I said the only team that could beat the Buckeyes is the Buckeyes. And obviously, of course, some Wolverine fans have gotten a hold of it, and, you know, they talk about their win. But this is the thing. I think they missing what I'm saying. If they lose a game, it's not because the other team was better than them. That's not the case. It's because they didn't perform that day. That's ultimately what comes down to it. When you look around, they just have too many guys. It's dudes everywhere. Like, and I think I heard Tennessee's coach talking about it, or somebody from the Tennessee fan base or somebody was like, there ain't a team in the SEC that Tennessee's played that's got dudes like Ohio State got. And that's a fact. Like, that's just what, like, they dominated every level on this. They did the one thing that I've been challenging all year, and I just wanted to see a pick from the corners. And guess what? IGB, here you go.
Got one.
I was like, thank you. So to me, they left no stone unturned in this game. And I think you're right. I think that the loss to the team up north. See, I think the players was always on board. I think the coaches had to get caught up to speed on what they had. And I think that Wolverine game kind of gave you that moment where it was like, we got to start appreciating what we have and get these guys involved. And it was so similar to like the Georgia game, but obviously the result was different. You know, you lose to the team up north, everybody's like, what's going on? It's a sour taste in everybody's mouth and on the program. And then boom, you had this dominant performance against an SEC team offensively and defensively as well. Obviously, they ended up going on and winning this game, but now everybody's around the world. And me and you kept talking about it. I said, I think I look at that Wolverine game as an anomaly. Like, that's not who they are.
For sure.
Like, that is not the team. I've watched them literally all year. I've studied them all year. I've never missed a game. That is not who they are. And everybody just couldn't get that out their mind. The team that I saw on Saturday is more so of the team that I thought that they would be. Now, the question is, like I was telling Eric, I said, now the problem is you put it on tape. Now you got no choice. That's what you better do for the next 3 games.
You said the coaches needed to kind of get with the talent that was on this team. I don't know if that's the best way to phrase it. I think for this coaching staff, they needed to kind of remove their heads from their hind parts.
That might be true.
That's what the Michigan game felt like, and it took everything after that to, I think, recognize what you saw on the field.
There's I don't know if you're unburdened. I don't know what it was. It was such an odd thing to watch. It was such a satisfying thing to watch. Because here's the deal. This wasn't even 42-7, guys. This was 56-0. This was, I mean, people talk about how Notre Dame was running downhill all day on Indiana. This was that times 10. This was 21-0 at half. There is a garbage pass interference no call on Jeremiah Smith that goes for a touchdown. There is a ridiculous roughing the passer on Nico Imalieva that is, I've never seen it called in college football, that led to another score for Tennessee. You're going to go up 28-0. They get a garbage time touchdown. It's 42-10. They get a garbage time touchdown. This wasn't even 42-17.
Yeah. No.
This was far worse than that. There was a dominance to it. There was a swagger to it. There was a chestiness to it. Will Howard was out of his mind.
Yeah, he threw some dimes.
All over the field.
Them 2 touchdown passes to Jeremiah Smith was
Dude, we've been talking
dimes.
We talk the one thing that you know when you watch some other teams play, they make you defend every blade of grass. Ohio State on Saturday night made you defend every blade of grass, and Tennessee stood no chance.
You know, another thing that came to fruition was we talk about the 2 running backs. You know, we was like, neither one of them get over 100 yards. But the reason that you go get a Quinshon is because Travion has not made it through a season healthy. Yeah. Now you got those 2 backs that's been taking the hits off each other. And guess what? You need them the most right now. And you got 2 of them that's ready to go. Travion looked the most explosive he's ever looked at this point of the season, and it's because he had another back that he can go in there and depend on for the 12 games of the season that kept him fresh. Dude was hurdling guys. He had that burst. He put the dagger in him at the end. Yeah. I was like, I'm sitting there like, man, you know what? Somebody asked me, do you think he's like a top draft pick? I'm like, I tell you what, he's going to be one of those guys that's going to go to the NFL that some team is going to draft. He's going to probably be their 1B, and he's going to be a star because he does everything. He can catch out the backfield. He's got that speed. He's got that home run hitting ability. Now, he's got to do that for the next 3 games as well, but his body's as fresh as it's ever been.
The end of the game when they play Rocky Top into na hey goodbye. It's cathartic.
Yeah.
Everyone's heard it. Everyone's heard it the last couple of weeks. Much of it deserved.
Yeah.
Because what happened is hard to wrap your head around based on what you saw here on Saturday night. Because you'd have beat the team up north this way, too, if you would have had this approach.
Yeah. No, you'd beat everybody.
There's no doubt.
You beat everybody.
Everybody.
Oregon
like
the first time, too.
Texas, bring them. Georgia, Notre Dame, whomever, bring them. Play like that. Anybody. So why was it so easy? We will get to that. A lot of conversation, and honestly, I'm sick of a lot of it. Some of the national conversation around the Buckeye fan base really annoyed me this weekend. We will get to that at 10 o'clock. You're going to hear from some players. Will Howard was absolutely pristine in this game. Why was it so easy on a Saturday night at the Shoe? We will get to that. A full football meat sandwich coming your way. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Unlike your deadbeat uncle, we'll never leave you stranded in a ditch when you were 6. This promo may have been a touch too specific. The Fan.
I'm an old school Joe, and my philosophy is real simple and effective. It's not what you win or lose, it's what you save. And betting reduced juice at Prime Sports Ohio is the way to save money on every single bet. Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit our website, primesportsbook.com. Use promo code JUSTSPORTS. Get a welcome bonus up to $100 and be a member of the Prime Sports family.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. Must be 21 or older and present in Ohio. If you or anyone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, Central Ohio, it's Christmas. The decorations are up, the trees are glowing, and the presents are on their way. Even in today's fast-paced world of tech, busyness, and various ideologies, most of the Christmas themes still point to the message and hope of Jesus Christ. I think author Max Lucado said it best. The gift of a Savior born in a humble manger to rescue us from our sins. The world had waited for this moment for centuries, and when it came, it was everything we needed. Peace on earth, goodwill to men. God had not left us in our troubles. He had come to us in the form of a child, bringing joy to the hearts of all who would receive him. This child, Jesus, came not to condemn, but to save. His birth was the dawning of hope, the promise of forgiveness, and the assurance of peace. This is why we celebrate, not just the birth of a child, but the birth of salvation. In this crazy season, remember the true gift this Christmas. Remember Jesus Christ. From the Lindsay Automotive family, Merry Christmas.
Hey, it's Anthony. Not too many things you'll experience on a daily basis are worse than sore feet. I've been there, but I'm not going back there. I'm done with the over-the-counter insoles that shred on me or don't last or don't really do anything to actually realign and strengthen my feet. That's why I went to the Good Feet store. They make it personal. They asked me about my daily activities and the type of pain that brought me in, and they properly measured my feet and arch size. Once I was fitted, they placed my arch supports right into my own shoes so I could immediately feel the difference they make with every step. I started enjoying that comfort right away. I walked out wearing my new arch supports, and now I'm living and loving being on the go without pain. You've got to check out the Good Feet store. Bring in your favorite shoes. They'll personally fit you to ensure your comfort like they did for me. Try them. Take a free test walk today. Good Feet products are proudly made in the USA. They're on Polaris Parkway and on Stringtown Road in Grove City. Or check them out at goodfeet.com.
What's better than giving a gift everyone wants? Getting free gas and groceries by earning perks on gift cards purchased at Giant Eagle, Market District, and Get-Go. Choose from hundreds of gift cards to make everyone merry this holiday season from the biggest retailers and best brands, all while earning you free gas and groceries. Stop in our stores for bonus perk offers on gift cards. Give the gift everyone wants and get a little something for yourself, too. The holidays are magical at Giant Eagle, Market District, and Get-Go.
Most radio stations suck. Here's why. They don't invest in local programming. We're live and local 14 hours a day. You can rest assured that every stupid thing we say is 100% local. Homegrown dumb since day one. The Fan.
Getting a live Christmas tree to plant after the holidays? Well, here are some tips. In the house, keep it away from heat sources that could wake it up out of dormancy. You don't want that. Dig your hole now before the ground freezes. Or if you plan to wait till spring, you need to protect roots from extreme cold with mulch or straw. And move it from the warm house to an unheated area like a garage temporarily to make the transition outside more gentle. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from the Ohio chapter of the International Society of Arboriculture at treesforohio.org. That's trees, the number 4, ohio.org.
Have you ever told a friend?
Oh, I'm fine.
When you really felt?
Just so overwhelmed.
Or sent a text?
Can't sleep. Are you awake?
When you couldn't find the words to say?
I'm scared to be alone with my thoughts right now.
then this is your sign to reach out to the 988 Lifeline for 24/7 free confidential support. You don't have to hide how you feel. Text, call, or chat anytime.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Today, cloudy but dry with a high of 44. Some late day showers possible as a weak cold front slides on through. Tonight, we get down to 36 with a few showers. Tomorrow, dry with some patchy drizzle, high 43. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 weather impact forecast on 97.1 The Fan.
The only show where sports talk is eclipsed by food talk.
Oh, nuts.
Common Man and T-Bone.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
The Fan. Our top men are working on everything except this show. This is Bishop and Friends.
So why was it so easy? I'm gonna put that one on to you, my friend. I'm gonna put that question to you because you and I did a show. Was it last Wednesday? When I think it was the first segment last Wednesday when you came in and you'd watched the All-22 on Tennessee.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's in the bag.
Yeah.
And you're like, their corners can't, I remember you saying it, their corners can't cover.
They said their corners and their linebackers both struggle in coverage to me. And I think that if we pass the ball, they have no chance. Now, why was it so easy? I think that it was a couple of things. One, the run game got going. And once that run game gets going, you commit more to the box and you truly have to make these guys play one-on-one. You knew that. I told you, they was not going to stop JJ. It's not a lot of corners out here that can stop JJ, period. Like, that's... Yeah. That right there in itself is an X factor. And the fact that they left him one-on-one was mind-boggling to me that they would leave. I understand that this Tennessee corner was supposed to be really good at all those things, and apparently JJ heard the chirping about it because he tweeted about it after the game.
Yeah.
But, like, you can't, like, that dude's like Julio, bro. He gets that treatment. You have to double and triple team him. So the fact that you left him open or one-on-one was a mistake. And two, like I told y'all, I thought Emeka would have the game where he would eat the most because Emeka's the guy that goes over the middle and stuff like that. And if those linebackers have to be the ones that come in coverage, it's just not going to happen. They're not going to be able to stop him at all. And very enough, that's exactly what was going on. Even G. Scott, like Will Howard to me made this game easy because of the throws that he was able to make. You know, guys were open because they started to fear that run. And then once JJ scored the touchdown, then they wanted to adjust their game plan, which is exactly what Ohio State wanted you to do to begin with, because it's just too many dudes that you got to worry about covering. And Will Howard obviously is the key to that. And he was that boy was on. He was on one. Some
Saturday. Of those second-level throws he was making on the sideline, like G. Scott caught a couple of them. I think Mecca caught one of them. Those are just big-time throws. Yeah. Just over the top of a zone, just dropping them into a bucket. Mm-hmm. Those are just big-time throws. I thought the game plan from Chip and Ryan was pretty obvious. One thing I talked a lot about last week on the show was when talent equated Ohio State's talent. And I think there were only three teams in the SEC that have similar talent. Mm-hmm. I don't know that anyone has apples to apples, but similar talent to Ohio State is Georgia, Texas, and then probably Alabama. Tennessee played two of those teams. They played Alabama, and they played Georgia. They beat Alabama, they lost to Georgia. When I went and looked at those two games last week, the thing that just jumped out off the screen to me was the Georgia coaches and the Alabama coaches were pretty damn smart. Mm-hmm. They looked at what Tennessee had defensively, and they said they are vulnerable through the air.
Yes.
And Carson Beck threw it 45 times for 300 and some yards, and he made them pay. Jalen Milroe threw it 39 times, 40 times in the game. He threw 2 picks and didn't make them pay. But there was something on tape that those two operations saw that said, this is where we get them.
Well, we talked to I think it was last Wednesday. We talked to some guy from the Volunteers.
Yeah. The guy from the 24/7 site.
Yeah. And he said when he made this comment, I said it's done. Let's just go ahead and let's move on to Pasadena because they have no chance. And people call me, oh, you're a bias, you're a homer. You need to let your homer go at some point. I'm like, dude, I'm telling you what it is. But anyways, when he made this comment, he says, we have a true freshman at the nickel spot, and we have a former walk-on safety that start. I said, that's in the secondary?
Yeah.
Okay, well, then if that's the case, it's done. And it's funny because on one of those touchdowns, I think it was one of those Travion touchdowns, I think that safety came down. It was with him and Travion in the box, one-on-one in the hole, and Travion kind of went around him and boom, took it to the house. And I was just thinking to myself, it was, y'all don't have the guys to cover what we got. And I thought the reason that I gave them a slight chance is because the edges, the two edge rushers. If you got two edge rushers that's supposed to be dudes like they have, that gives you a shot. That can cover up some of the deficiencies you have down the field when it comes to coverage. Those guys was a non-factor. I don't even recall them making a play on the game.
No.
Not one time did they even come close to Will Howard's jersey, in my personal opinion.
No. No, and it was so, but we hadn't seen this either. Not like this. What they did is they used the pass to set up the run.
Yeah.
And then once that happened, you started to, the idea that the first touchdown is a Jeremiah Smith over the top, Will drops it in a bucket.
Yeah, you did.
And you go, okay, this is it. This is what you want to see.
That scared everybody. That backed up everybody. And now, boom, now you got two running backs that's fresh at this point of the season that's ready to roll.
Will Howard was the number 1 rated quarterback on PFF in the CFP. He went 24 of 29 in this game for 311, 2 touchdowns, and an interception that should not have been. That's a pass interference 10 times out of 10. I can't believe they didn't reverse it either. Honestly, I didn't think there was anything that for sure that the guy had the ball. Go ahead, Reese.
So now that the ACC, their teams have been eliminated, can we eliminate their officiating crews as well? Dude, everything ACC, get the hell out of college football right now. They were awful.
They really were. So his one pick shouldn't have been. And so now all of a sudden that one comes off, and you're talking about 24 of 28 for 311, 2 touchdowns, no picks. You can't do a whole lot better than that.
Yeah.
And he threw it everywhere. He made them defend every blade of grass. And then what that made you do is that made you have to take an extra half step back, and then Travion goes 10 for 80. Will ran for 37. The one, he would have picked up another 15 if the turf monster didn't get him.
Yeah.
He gets got by that turf monster at Ohio Stadium all the time. If he were coming back next year, I'd tell him to plant grass just for him. All right, let's hear from Will. Let's hear about the preparation and the execution. Here's Will Howard on that.
Having the 2 or 3 weeks that we had to get ready for these guys, I think, gave us a little bit of an edge. And we were able to really break them down and figure out what we liked, what we didn't like, and figure out what we were doing well. And I think coming into this game, I was really fired up about the game plan, more than usual. And I think the way that we were able to execute it, at the end of the day, it's how you execute it, man. I never go into a game feeling bad about a game plan. It's how you execute it at the end of the day. But yeah, I was fired up about our game plan today, and I think we did a hell of a job executing it.
They really did. Conversely, on the defensive side, it was just suffocating. Tennessee could not get anything going at all. I'm going to give Nico his props. Yeah. The kid battled.
He did.
He fought. He had to run it. He ended up running it 20 times in this game, is what it ended up being. He got hit hard on the very first series. Cody Simon cracked his helmet.
Yeah.
This dude took a beating and kept taking one. He wasn't particularly effective. He was 14 of 31 throwing it. Obviously, he could not see the field at all. He had no idea what was there and what wasn't, and really struggled. But I will give him some big-time props for having the guts to stand in there and keep fighting, because he was really all they had. He was really all they had.
They lost. The running back has some type of hamstring issues, so that was a major part of the game plan for them. And then, some of the receivers started to get knocked out of the game. So it really did just come down to just him, and he did the best he could. I tell you what, I have a lot of respect for him as well. Tennessee probably needs to hit the portal hard to get him some wide receivers, because I think he actually could be a pretty good quarterback in that SEC, and they could do some things. Obviously they got to – I don't know if the running back is gone after this. I'm pretty sure he is. Dylan Sampson, so they probably have to replace them. The backup wasn't bad. He ran the ball pretty hard. Bishop, I think his name was.
Yeah, Deshaun Bishop.
He ran the ball pretty hard, but they got to
Sampson's a junior, so he could come back.
He come on now.
1,400 yards, 22 touchdowns.
He's out of there.
Hey, listen, on that front, real quick, One of the things that we talked about was this, to win this national championship, whoever wins it, this is going to be about surviving.
Yeah.
This is going to be like the NFL. It's like survive and advance. If you can thrive and advance like Ohio State did on Saturday, all the better. But it's going to be who can remain relatively healthy. Understand that what's standing in front of you, what you've already done and what's standing in front of you is a gauntlet no college football team has ever had to navigate. You're going to play the number one team in the country. You're going to play Texas because they're going to blow the brakes off of Arizona State. And then you're going to play Georgia, Notre Dame, or Penn State.
Probably Notre Dame. That's my hunch. But the thing that the Buckeyes got going for them is that they've been resilient. They've seen injuries. They've dealt with injuries all year, and they found ways to get going or still win these games. Other teams have been relatively healthy this entire season, so one injury could derail them. Like, they might not know how to respond to that, to where the Buckeyes is like, we dealt with this next guy up.
Well, let's see what happens with Georgia, because they're not going to have Carson Beck.
Yeah,
so
tough.
That's a fact. So they will not have him the next time they play, when they play against Notre Dame. I'm damn happy for the players. I'm damn happy for you, the fans. I'm damn happy for Ryan Day. That's a big-time win in a dominant fashion. You'll hear from your coach in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds, which could be life-changing. I mean, you could put that money towards concert tickets for your daughter to see that singer who sings about painful breakups. And one song will inspire your little beauty to break up with that beast she's dating, Brian. Instead, she'll date someone who's nice and worthy of her love, not someone who addresses you and your spouse as bro. And it's all because you could save money switching at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
At the Home Depot, we know Saturdays are for college football. That's why we have everything you need to never miss a play, like Bear Dynasty interior paint, their most durable one-coat hide paint ever. From a team color statement wall to a fan cave, complete with a mural honoring Nick Saban's 17-year dynasty.
Hey, I like that idea.
Nothing beats Bear Dynasty interior paint. It's everything you need all in one can.
Defend your game time with Bear and the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Valid only when tinted to colors from the Bear Dynasty and Marquee Interior One-Coat Hide Color Collection.
Bob and Teresa Capace here. The holidays are the perfect time for your yes moment. Find the ring that captures your love at family-owned Worthington Jewelers. With over 1,500 styles and friendly expert guidance, you'll find the one.
Worthington Jewelers, where Columbus gets engaged.
Did you know a dog license is one of the best ways to protect your pup if you should get separated? Ohio law requires all dogs to have a current license. Protect your pal by registering for your 2025 dog license today. Visit doglicense.franklincountyohio.gov for more details. Brought to you by Franklin County Auditor Michael Stinziano.
Hey, it's Anthony, and the Happy Honda Days are powering through the holidays at Germain Honda of Dublin. Rich is delivering all of the new Honda toys, including the new Prologue, the first all-electric SUV from Honda at 0% APR up to 72 months. Also, he's throwing you 0.9% up to 60 months on most new Hondas. And he won't even require a payment on the new purchases for 90 days. Go get the Honda of your holiday dreams with my friends at Germain Honda of Dublin on Sawmill Road just south of 270.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Fast, sustainable weight loss without medications. The solution for weight loss. Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
What's up? What's up, man? What's up with you?
Sponsored by High Bank Distillery, home of the best blended whiskey in America. Grab a bottle or dine in at their 3 restaurant locations: Grandview, Gahanna, and now in Westerville. Drink local. Drink High Bank.
All right, here's what's up on a Reaction Monday. Buckeyes 42, Tennessee 17, and it wasn't even that close. A lot of people came up to me yesterday at various things, mostly coaching the youth basketball. Did you see this coming? No, not quite like this. I didn't, because we hadn't seen this version of Ohio State all season long. Ryan Day was asked about that postgame. Here's what he had to say.
You know, I'm proud of our seniors for a lot of reasons. One, for the fact that they were able to finish their last game at Ohio Stadium with a win like that, and I'm also proud of the way that they responded. And I told them in the locker room that in life you're gonna be defined by the way you handle adversity in life. As a person, as a man, as a dad. And so, to see the way that they responded in this game, you can tell from the jump that they had a look in their eye that they were going to go win this game, and I thought they played that way. So, a lot of football ahead of us, great win, but we're going to enjoy this for 24 hours, and then it's on to Oregon.
Yeah, there was a response to it. The other thing that was, pretty obvious to all of us is this was a very different approach than what we saw the last time we saw the Buckeyes. And as a quick aside, I know a great many of you, and none of us were pleased with what happened in that game against that team up north. But the reality is the approach was very different. So Ryan was asked, what was the difference in the game plan? What made them change so dramatically between, honestly, two teams that were pretty similar? Because I got news for you. Tennessee was just a kind of a better version of Michigan is really what they were. They were just a better version of them. Here is Ryan on the two game plans and the difference.
I think it was a combination of things. I think that it's a little bit of everything. I think when you go back and look at the season, we talked about it going into the game. We were a different team. When we lost Seth, we played that Indiana game. We got, the punt return. Looking back on it, we got that turnover down in the red zone. We really didn't play great on offense in the Indiana game, truth be told. And then we went into the last game and still didn't quite know what the ramifications were of everything that was going on based on who we had up front. And, there was a lot of things that played into that game, but certainly one of them was we called this game more aggressively. There's no question about that. But also I think we did some things in this game that maximize what we have in terms of our strengths and minimize our deficiencies. Not that everything was perfect in this game. It wasn't. But I do think that, and I also thought Will was excellent in this game, played really well. Did a really good job of placing the ball in some big-time throws. When he needed to make plays with his legs, he did. And certainly Jeremiah, was dynamite again. But Will was the leader. But we also had balance in this game. It wasn't like it was just throwing it all over the place. We did have balance. We had some good runs, and those hit for us, which makes a big difference when you have that run pass balance that we're looking for. So, this has got to continue. This has got to build momentum. Going into this next game.
It was the pass run balance. It was the pass first that set up the run, and that's what changed it. That's what made those gaps that Travion was bursting through as big as they were. That's what made those safeties have to take an extra half step back. I think about that in the game you guys played against Alabama with your boy, your nephew. His arm strength and your guys' ability to take the top off had Landon Collins a yard and a half further back than he probably would have wanted to be. But he had to be because there was the threat of it. And Ohio State showed that threat right away. And once they proved that they had to make you defend every blade of grass, there was no counter for Tennessee. There was nothing they could do.
Well, I think that the fact that Will Howard, to me, was been the focal point of this entire season because we've always said, can he make those deep throws? Can he get those guys to back off? And he's been answering that question as of lately, too. After that Oregon game, I'd say, because there was a big concern, I think Northwestern and beyond. I think he started to really get in stride and hit these guys in stride on the deep ball. I think that, to me, is what unlocked this entire offense to where they're able to do whatever it is that they want to do. And defenses are now respecting the fact that Will Howard can make those throws. So now you get those Emecas across the field. You get that run game going like that. And I think that's what's got this entire offense taken to a different level.
Yeah, it has. Look at the, I do have to, I don't know if you're ever going to get the truth on it. But I do have to wonder if that hit in the Michigan game affected him more than we let on, because and they obviously did not trust who was behind him enough to be able to say, hey, this ain't it, but let's go with one of these guys. You're clearly not 100%. The way that he was running, remember he was running on the sideline like, get me back in, I'm good.
Yeah.
But they didn't call it that way, and he didn't play it that way because, to your point, buddy, just go pull up what he's done in the biggest games of the year. I'm gonna give you, and these are, however you want to define them, these would be the ones you define as the biggest games of the year. So Iowa here, 35-7. He's 21-25 in that game, 4 touchdowns, 1 pick. In the Oregon game, he went 28-35, 326, 2 touchdowns, no picks. In the Penn State game, he throws a pick 6 early, but he goes 16-24 for 182, 2 touchdowns in that game, and is clutch as it goes on and the season goes along. The Indiana game here, 22-26, 201. I mean, he's completing 73% of his passes on the year. And then this was his magnum opus. He's 24 of 29, 311. It's 83% completions.
Wasn't it a point in time where he was the most accurate quarterback in the country?
I know at some point I feel like he has to be. Maybe Gabriel's up there too, but I mean he's on a very short list.
I thought he overtook Gabriel for maybe it was for like a week or so. We had said he was.
Well, all those stats still count. So I mean, I'll pull it up for you here really quickly to see because they're still accumulating statistics on this. Boy, he's got to be. All right, we're gonna have to do it by rating because otherwise you get all the guys that went 3 for 3. So in terms of the guys still in the playoff, Shedeur was 74.2. He's not in the playoff at 74.2. Klubnik was. Gabriel was 73.2. Will was 73.2. They have the exact same completion percentage.
And he just don't get the flowers, for some odd reason. I don't know what it is about Will, but for some odd reason, people don't give him the respect he actually deserves.
You better now.
Well, I mean, yeah. Now this gonna be a shootout in this next upcoming game against Oregon. I guess whoever the most accurate quarterback or whoever the best quarterback probably will win this game.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a quarterback game. I mean, we'll get some time to kind of break that one down, but I think that the reaction to what happened here on Saturday night was that team playing at that level can beat anybody that's out there standing. And if they can remain sort of healthy from here on out, and as long as they have those receivers and that quarterback and those two backs, as long as that defensive line plays the way it played, I mean, they got after it. They got after it up front. Those linebackers were flying around. You wanted to pick from the corner, you got it. Safeties were – that play Lathan Ransom made was a monster when he knifed in, when it looked like Tennessee was maybe going to get a little bit of momentum. Mm-hmm. And he knifed in there, made a huge tackle for loss. That play was a monster play.
That defense took things personally, and I told you, ever since that Oregon game, it's just been a different vibe with them. They've truly figured some things out, and that's why I'm confident about the Oregon game, because as bad as they played in that game, they lost that game by 1 point. So you fix things and they continue to play. To me, the biggest difference has been those two edges. We've been begging for those edge rushers to play like they're supposed to play for 4 years now. And now they finally are starting to figure those things out to where they're making plays. I mean, Jack Sawyer was amazing. All them PBUs, you don't know how annoying that is as a quarterback that I'm trying to get the ball to my guy and you keep knocking the ball down. I know a lot of people don't think it means a lot. As a guy from the back end, I appreciate it a lot.
Dude, the one he jumped up and knocked down right inside the red zone?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean,
he almost had a pick. He had two hands on it.
He did. Yeah, he almost had it. It was a suffocating performance. I mean, Tennessee couldn't do anything. And even 42-17, you say, "Wow, it's a beatdown," but it was worse than that. It was worse than 42-17. They wasn't even that close.
I think Tennessee walked out of here. They was demoralized. They're going to question everything moving forward. We got to get extremely better to try to win it all. We are is just not good enough, and it's not going to crack yet.
They deserve to be held to the exact same damn scrutiny that Indiana was held to on Friday night and the same scrutiny that SMU was held to on Saturday afternoon. They should be treated no differently. None.
That's fair.
They were just as pathetic, or more so, quite honestly. Maybe more so than those two.
Yo ponies.
My guy Kevin Jennings, buddy. I mean, holy cow, son.
Maybe
not throw it right to him. Maybe not right to him. On the 4th and 1, when my God, you got the first, it's a layup touchdown. Everyone's like, take the bird in the hand or whatever, better than whatever. I'm going, dude, he's got a guy wide open. He threw it 6 feet behind him. It's a walk-in touchdown. You can't turn it over like that.
To quote Jared Allen, the lights were brighter than expected.
Too bright, brother. Too bright. We'll take a look around the rest of the college football playoff weekend. What got right? What got wrong? Obviously, a lot of criticism for this fan base. We'll address that at 10 o'clock. We had a Battle of Ohio that wasn't much of a battle, and quite honestly, was open and over on the first drive as far as I was concerned. We'll explain that. Here's some comments from Myles Garrett on his future in Cleveland coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
We're known for three things: games, conversations, conversation, and common man yelling about things only he cares about. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Hey there, friends. Bo Bishop here. Tech scams, identity thieves, data leaks. Hearing about these online threats every day can be stressful. You might not consider yourself a tech expert, but that doesn't mean you can't protect yourself from online scammers with a little help from McAfee Total Protection. Whether it's a fake missed delivery text or an urgent bank alert, these scams can look incredibly convincing, and that's where McAfee Total Protection steps in. McAfee Total Protection is here to help you live a worry-free life online. Well, what does worry-free mean? Well, it means you won't have to wonder if that text message is a scam, if new threats will pop up on your PC, or if you're safe from identity theft. McAfee will help you keep your device's privacy and identity safer. Visit McAfee.com/online protection today to get award-winning online protection for just $39.99 your first year. So go ahead, manage your finances, shop online. McAfee will help keep your device's privacy and identity safer. Cancel anytime. Terms apply. That's McAfee.com/online protection.
Pizza lovers, listen up. We're not that cheesy, but this deal is. For a limited time at Speedway, get 2 big pizza slices and your favorite Coca-Cola 20-ounce for only $5 with Speedy Rewards. And you know we got even more, like flavors galore. Okay, maybe we are a little cheesy. Choose between classic 3-cheese, crispy pepperoni, or extreme meat pizza. Save big on 2 pizza slices and your favorite Coca-Cola 20-ounce. Get the $5 meal deal with Speedy Rewards. Only at Speedway. Valid through 1/7/25. See app for full terms.
The nightmare of the cleared drain. Those drain clearing specials from the other guys seem like a great deal until you realize the only thing really going down your drain is your money. At the Waterworks, we mean clean. Our service doesn't just clear your drains, it cleans them too. It's done right the first time, so that nightmare of a drain becomes a dream come true. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call 614-232-2222 to get started.
I'm an old school Joe. I never lay juice I don't want to lay. I don't hate my money like that. I'd rather lay -108 than -110. Wouldn't you? Prime Sports is Ohio's full-time reduced juice sportsbook. Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit our website, primesportsbook.com. Use promo code JUSTSPORTS. Get a welcome bonus up to $100. And spend the holidays with the Prime Sports family.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. Must be 21 or older and present in Ohio. If you or anyone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Make your shopping stress-free this holiday season. Hi, it's Alex Johnson from the Diamond Cellar. As your one-stop luxury destination for over 77 years, we offer everything from brilliant diamonds to classic timepieces and the world's finest fashion jewelry. With every gift wrapped in our signature blue box, you'll be saving time and giving joy, all with guaranteed best prices that no one can match. Experience holiday shopping the way it should be. Simple and unforgettable. Visit Diamond Cellar on Salmo Road or at Easton Town Center.
Bobby Carpenter once sold workout equipment on QVC Canada. There's no joke here. That actually happened. Morning Juice with Bobby and Beamer.
Weekdays starting at 6.
The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Airflow Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
We'll read your emails on the air, but we won't tell you where to send them. Hey, we're not doing all the work for you. This is Bishop and Friends.
Fellas, it's the holidays season, all kind of hustle and bustle. I got 16 Christmases, for crying out loud. If your energy's down, if you aren't sleeping well, if your sex drive is MIA, if you just don't feel like the guy you once were, maybe it's tough to get excited for all that holiday cheer. If this sounds like you may have low testosterone. If so, this is the season where you get treated. I noticed it in a couple weeks. I just started to feel better, started to sleep better. When the boys would ask, Dad, will you do this? The answer to it became yes, far more often than it was previously. It didn't take long. Energy levels improved. When I worked out, it was better. And most importantly, I was sleeping better. That was something I was really struggling with. It was a pretty immediate fix on that side of things. So I recommend you go see my friends at Tri-State Men's Health. You're going to go there. You're going to take the quiz on the website. You're going to figure out exactly if this applies to you. You're going to meet with a licensed medical provider. The cost of that appointment is $99. It includes that medical consult, the TNPSA test. And if you sign up for testosterone treatment that day, your appointment is free. I think you're going to feel the difference just like I did. I really do. Give them a call. Tri-State Men's Health. 800-900-9654. Visit tristatemenshealth.com. They have 2 locations here in town. Quick exit off 270 in Hilliard, near Medical Mile in Westerville. No need to wait any longer. Give them a call. They'll take care of you. Tell them that Bo sent you on that. So this Bengals Browns game was over first series for me. Jerome Ford goes 66 yards. And you go, okay, this is a pretty bad Bengals. This is one of the worst defenses in the NFL, this Bengals defense. Yep. So this was a very safe landing spot for Dorian Thompson-Robinson to be able to play. Mm-hmm. They were, quite honestly, abysmal. And you get 66 yards in the Jerome Ford run. You get it down inside the one, and they decide, for reasons beyond anything I can understand or explain, we're going to hand it to a guy who's been inactive for weeks.
Kevin.
Well, I told you. You know why.
Weeks.
But you know why?
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
He is looked at as their short yardage and goal line running back. He's the bigger body of the backs that we have.
Then where's he been for the last however many weeks?
They didn't need him. They had Nick Chubb. What? I'm just telling you. You wanted an answer. I'm giving you an answer.
What are we doing?
That's what I'm guessing that was the thought process behind it. 66 yards. He could be a little gas.
Dante Foreman when's the last time he even played? I worked for the team. I had seen him play.
Before Nick Chubb came back.
Okay. Yeah. So that fumble happens, and then Cincinnati goes, thank you very much. We're going to go 99 yards,
wait a minute,
and away we go.
You speed and pass it. The fumble happened by nobody other than Von Bell. Shout out to my safety brother Von Bell on that nice little punch out and recovering that fumble. I couldn't even be mad, Bo. Couldn't be mad at all. I was like, you know what? I went Von before the Browns, so therefore I was happy to see him make a big time play like that.
And the season's over, so it didn't really matter what the Browns were doing. Foreman hasn't had a carry since the end of October.
Okay, so that's great. Let's give it to him in short yardage.
Jerome Ford could have been gassed after 66 yards.
Then sneak it. So, anyway, honestly, this is better for Cleveland because it's better to lose.
You moved up in the draft
Raiders.
this week.
I think the Raiders, that loss, that's going to cost them the ability to pick which quarterback they want. That's a fact.
Yeah, Antonio.
The Giants are not going to win. You saw what they did against Atlanta. They are not going to win.
Antonio Pierce just Lovie Smithed them. You want me to lose? Cool. We going to win this game.
He did. Yeah, he really did. Cincinnati is still in it. What did the weekend do for them in terms of enhancing? Because Indy won. They need Indy to lose at some point. Indy won. Miami won. So the odds are long. They're 7-8. Now, obviously, no one would want to play him if they get in. Here's Jamar Chase, who set the Bengals' single-season franchise pass receiving yardage record with 2 games to play on the Bengals being the most dangerous team in the NFL.
I feel like we are already the most dangerous team, you know what I'm saying? And people fear us, you know what I'm saying? But it's going to come down to just making that one play on offense and defense and just finishing at the end of the game. So as long as we stay in it as a unit, we'll be all right.
Well, if it comes down to them making one play, they definitely going to do that. I tell you what, if I was going up against them, I wouldn't want to play them either. Because all you need is need a decent.
They play Denver this week.
Yeah.
So they can. That's a head-to-head.
Yeah.
So they can win that and get to 8-8 and make Denver go to 9-7. But Denver then plays Kansas City, who still could be playing for something at the end. But it's so uphill. They just waited too damn long.
Yeah, they did.
They waited too long,
and it's on that defense. And and I feel bad for them because there's so much uncertainty with this offseason coming up. Like, this might not be the same offense next year, obviously, because T. Higgins might be gone. So
Joe's convinced he's coming back, though.
Yeah, so Joe's going to go in there and going to take a pay cut there.
Well, he already took his money. He can't take a pay cut.
He going to go back and he going to have to go restructure his deal and say, you know what? This is
he can't
too
because
much.
they don't have liquid to turn it into salary, to turn it into bonus.
Well, I just don't see
Which is the irony of all of this, because if he was playing in Cleveland, they could.
So Jamar's taking the back seat here.
Yeah. All right, here's what the Bengals need. They need Denver to lose to Kansas City in Week 18, so it starts there. They got to win their next two. They play Denver, then they play Pittsburgh. They need Miami and the Colts to lose at least one more game. The Colts' remaining schedule is the Giants, which that's a dub for sure, and then it's Jacksonville at home. Jacksonville could be a little frisky. Miami's remaining schedule includes the Browns in Cleveland and then the Jets in New York.
The problem with
Miami could lose. It's 10% chance, but there's a chance.
The problem with it is if you get to that last week and you need those teams that's in the front of the draft to win, or if there's no incentive for them winning that last game.
No, that's what I mean. So, like, if it's going to happen, they need Jacksonville to beat Indy, then they need the Broncos to lose their last two. Now, they control one of them because they play them this week, so that part helps. The other side of this is the Cleveland side of it, is they're playing out the string. This is a really disappointing performance, obviously. It helps their draft status, which I'm sure there's probably fans out there. I would be thrilled about that. Give me the highest pick possible.
Yeah.
Hell, maybe they can play themselves into Travis Hunter. Who knows?
I think they moved up like 2 spots. I think they're like 5th pick
4,
now.
right? Is it 4?
5th?
Thanks, Las Vegas.
Yeah, because Vegas blew it. Now you have a pick ahead of Vegas. So you have some real draft capital there. But the other thing that's been kind of lingering here for the last week, really since the end of last week when Myles Garrett made some comments in the locker room, is, wait a second, Myles ain't signing up for all this? He addressed it again post-game Sunday.
Those conversations that we'll be having at the end of the season. So, no, there's nothing that I said that anybody was unaware of, and I always been focused on winning. So, that's just what we'll talk about after the last game.
He's already under. Do you have it? Let me pull up his. I know they've already paid him. Not that matters. I mean, we've had a lot of guys who have demanded trades after getting compensation. He's 28. He went over 100 sacks for his career. He's obviously on pace to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's a gold jacket type player. That's absolutely coming. What does that, I mean, if you think, I'm trying to think of guys, well, Khalil Mack is the most recent, right? Where there was a guy who was just an absolute dude who's like, I'm good. I don't want to be a part of it.
Khalil Mack did that with the Raiders.
Yeah. All right. So Myles, he can void after 26. He's got 2 more years on his deal. Potential out in 2024. But I don't know if it's his option out or theirs. Listen, they don't want any part of a future without Myles Garrett. So for them, what this offseason will be is, how do we pivot at quarterback in a way that makes us right back competitive next year and parlay this pick, which is high, and by the way, another high one in the second, where you got to hit on both of them. That first-round pick's got to be a dude. That top of the second-round pick has got to be a dude. They got to be people who can come in and help you right away, whether it's on the offensive line, wherever they are deficient, and they have a lot of deficiencies, obviously. Is this a landing spot for Kirk Cousins? It would make a lot of sense with Stefanski's offense, but he doesn't play as well outside as he does in domes.
He's been turning the ball over too, though.
He has. Yeah. But he would know the offense like the back of his hand.
All right, so they going back to Kevin's offense?
They have to, don't they?
I don't know. Okay, if you go back to Kevin's offense, are you keeping Ken? See, it's so much stuff that you got to have. You got to you got to have answers for a lot. It's not just the roster; it's the coaching staff too that dictates a lot of things. Like, what are we doing moving forward offensively? Are we gonna go back to the Kevin style where we can run the ball? And because if that's the case, then we got to address the run game situation, because that's a problem right now.
Well, you could easily in the run game situation pick up. I mean, you could pick up one of these Buckeye backs in the second or third round.
So now you know. Okay.
You're not picking a running back at 4.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I know. I know a lot of people are huge on Ashton Genty,
not
but
4. No, you're going to go tackle, D end, corner, receiver, weapon. If they love one of the quarterbacks, I could see him taking one.
The best. I was sitting there thinking about.
They love Cam Ward.
The best thing that can happen to them is somehow they get Travis Hunter. That to me would be the pick. If Travis Hunter's available when the Browns is picking, they should sprint that pick up there.
I don't think he'll be there.
I don't think he will either. But I'm just trying to.
What is it right now? I know
who's the Giants got the pick. Who's the second?
Giants are 1. Give me the
Giants, Patriots, Jaguars, Titans, Browns.
Stop it. The Patriots.
Okay, so the Titans will take. Titans would be the one who would prevent you from drafting a quarterback. They'd be the ones that would do it because they're not. They'll draft Cam Ward or they'll draft Shedeur, whichever one New York doesn't take. All right, coming up next, a lot has been said about this fan base. We're going to clear up some of it coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Question from a listener. Do you dopes ever get tired of talking about Ohio State? No. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
The Fan.
What's better than the sound of a Krispy Kreme truck delivering fresh donuts to McDonald's?
Enjoy a Krispy Kreme donut paired with an any-size hot or iced coffee for just $3. Offer valid 12/10 to 4/30/25 while supplies last. Price and participation may vary.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Guys, listen up. How many of you out there have been diagnosed with sleep apnea? Maybe your partner can't tolerate your snoring every night. You can't stand your CPAP machine. I totally get it. But the good news is there are alternatives to the CPAP machine. And Dr. Mark Levy is here to change your sleep and your life. Trust me, your spouse will thank you later. Dr. Mark Levy can customize an oral appliance that opens your airways, helps you breathe better, and of course, stops your snoring. That's the main point. It's quick and comfortable and an alternative to those bulky, loud CPAP machines you always hear about. For over 15 years, Dr. Mark Levy has led the way when it comes to treating snoring and sleep apnea, and now he's expanding his practice to better serve his patients with a brand new location in Marysville. I love Marysville. If you're snoring and not sleeping, you need to call Dr. Mark Levy's office today. Do not delay. Schedule your appointment today with Dr. Mark Levy at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. That's 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. You can also visit him online at sleepbettercolumbus.com. And now, sleepbettermarysville.com too.
Hollywood Lights. Bring in 2025 in a big way at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Don't miss our New Year, New Wheels giveaway. Drive off in a 2024 Jeep Gladiator or take home $30,000 cash. Earn entries playing your favorite slot and table games all month long. The fun doesn't stop there. Catch live entertainment, hit the dance floor, indulge in fine dining, and count down to a balloon drop at midnight. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966. Dormar, your pilot hero.
My furnace just went out. Ma'am, have no fear. Dormar is here. We can get that furnace fixed fast. Dormar, you guys are the best.
Dormar, your pilot hero.
Hey, fans! Welcome back to Fansville's Cheers and Tears. Oh. Okay, so like everybody deals with losing, right? To a rival on a last-second field goal. Whatever, it's fine. I'm totally fine. But I cope with losing with an ice-cold Dr. Pepper. Those 23 flavors are like so delicious. They totally wash away the pain of your college football team taking a big fat L. College football, it's a pepper thing.
Great game. You got into the end zone again and again. How'd it feel?
Awesome. Like getting a new iPhone again and again. I just got the new iPhone 16 Pro today.
Really?
Yeah. And with AT&T Next Up Anytime, I can upgrade early every year.
Very nice.
Feel like an MVP again. Learn how to get the new iPhone 16 Pro on us and the latest iPhone every year with AT&T Next Up Anytime. AT&T. Connecting changes everything. Offer subject to change. Additional fees, terms, and restrictions apply. $0 offer may not be available on future iPhones. Next Up Anytime feature may be discontinued at any time. See att.com/iPhone for details.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. Week 16 in the NFL wraps up tonight in Green Bay. The Packers play the Saints at 8:15. You can hear that one over on ESPN Columbus as we've got Blue Jackets hockey on the Fan tonight following the Buckeye show. CBJ hosts the Montreal Canadiens at 7. Elvis Merzlikins looks to get the nod in net. Jackets look to bounce back from Saturday's OT loss to the Flyers. In college football, Ohio State's on to the Rose Bowl quarterfinal next Wednesday versus number 1 Oregon. Buckeyes are 2.5-point favorites for the New Year's Day rematch with the Ducks. Oregon won their regular season meeting back in October 32-31. In college hoops, the Ohio State men's squad upset number 4 Kentucky 85-65 over the weekend at MSG. Buckeyes are back at the Shot this Sunday, hosting Indiana State at noon. Hear more from Ohio State's head coach today at noon on the Jake Diebler Show. This update is sponsored by Dormar Heating and Air Conditioning. Need an emergency repair? Dormar can be there today, guaranteed. Visit them at dormarheating.com.
Are you fired up? Is it Monday? It must be Reaction Monday.
Sponsored by the Roofing Guys.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Producers, co-hosts, friends, some of those things are true. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
So I do feel like almost as much as the games, the conversation around the 4 fan bases, the teams that were involved, kind of overshadowed even the games. Now, this started on Friday, where there was a great deal of folks who were incredibly critical of Indiana. It started Friday when Nick Saban, who is the greatest coach in the history of the sport, went on a pretty good rant about the Ohio State fan base and how they should be ashamed of themselves. I think it's very tricky when folks who make $11 million a year or better, primarily because there is that passion for the sport and the ratings are delivering that from a television perspective on the sport, scold the people who deliver that money indirectly or directly. Quite honestly, the fan base directly funds the roster now. I mean, that's directly. Mm-hmm. They're asking you to be Netflix accounts and pay every month. I mean, that's what this sport is at the moment. Yeah. So you are monetarily invested. You are an investor of the program. So I think that's always very tricky. The thing that really bugged me about Saban's rant on Friday was that nobody on that desk pushed back and said, Coach, just so we're clear, if you lose 4 straight to Auburn, including one where you're favored by 3 touchdowns, and you don't win an SEC champion, and you hadn't won an SEC championship in 4 years, and you didn't win a national championship, how hot would your seat have been?
That's what I said as soon as he said it.
Why was there no pushback from that? How did anybody not say, well, wait, are you sure? You coached at Alabama. Imagine you didn't beat Auburn for 4 years.
Well, I don't think they wanted to turn it into a debate show. Maybe that's...
No, but it's very easy to sit on a desk and criticize a fan base when you don't just simply flip it. And the fact that nobody pushed back was shameful.
I said when I heard those comments and then I heard some of Kirk's comments, I said the problem is when you're removed from this rivalry, and you're not a part of it anymore, as the more time goes by to where you're a player or a coach, you start to realize it is more to life than just a rivalry. They lose the game and there's life after that. They'll be fine. To whereas when I was a player, even still to this day a little bit, is that I'm still there is no life if you lose that game. That's just how I was wired. That's how I was taught about the game and things like that. So to me, I still view it as that. When I look at this rivalry in that game, I still view it as you cannot lose that game by any means necessary. You got to find a way to win. And I think the fan base still is viewing it in that eyes the same way that I view, because that's just how we were taught, is that you have to win that game no matter what.
One pushback. I don't think you have to win that game every year, and I don't think the fan base expects you to win that game every year.
Yes,
but they expect you to win when you're a 3-touchdown favorite.
They expect you to win that game every year, Bo.
Yeah, but you can have some. Everybody understands that in some losses, some rivalries, there are losses.
Urban messed it up. He shouldn't have went 7-0.
He did, but Woody wasn't that much over 500 in that game.
Jim was 7-1.
They are 2 or 10. They are 2. This is the greatest rivalry in sports, and you're going to win some. You're not entitled to win it every time, but this was the one that broke people, and the fact that they were scolded for that, I have a problem with.
I agree.
I have a big problem with. I have a big problem with crushing them on spending 3 hours on game day, crushing the Ohio State fans because they're not stupid enough to stand in 18-degree weather and cheer on a show that's going to bash them for 3 hours. Why would the game was at 8:00? Yeah. Why would we? Who the hell tailgates at 9 o'clock in the morning for an 8 o'clock game?
Yeah, you'd be surprised.
At 18 degrees. Like, what are we doing?
You'd be surprised, actually.
Now, the other thing I would tell you is that in terms of the amount of give Tennessee credit. Like, that was the biggest opposing fan group I'd ever seen in that stadium.
Yeah, they were.
That was an accurate statement. There's no question that there was. That part's true. There were not 50,000 of them.
Yeah, 40,000, whatever that.
It sure as hell wasn't that many.
It wasn't that.
No, it was not. It was really good representation.
No, I'm about to say
maybe 20, 25, something like that.
It had a nice little. You had a nice little sea of orange in there. You had some sprinkling over the place. They was here Friday. Me and Tim did the Buckeye show, and they was in the bar that we were at.
Yeah,
all those things. So they was here.
Here's the other part of this thing is when you have to think about the headspace of the two fan bases. Okay, Tennessee hasn't had a bite at this apple. They hadn't won a national title since '98. They haven't won an SEC since '98, and now all of a sudden they get this. And the last time they saw Ohio State, they looked how they looked against Michigan.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, hell, let's go up there and win.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Let's go up there and win. Yeah. That's a long drive home, buddy. That's a long drive home. Conversely, this fan base, the last time they saw this team, they went, what the heck, man? That is not what we paid for. And they did pay for it via tickets and via directly in terms of funding the NIL.
Mm-hmm.
Directly. You do have a say. This is coming out of your pockets as a fan base. For sure. And that part's very real. The other thing I had a problem with was going at this fan base for how they responded to the loss to Michigan and then spending the better part of 4 hours talking about how Ohio State played against Michigan. Wow, they were beating the brakes off of Tennessee.
They did do that, didn't they?
It was constant.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're going to admonish them. You're going to admonish this fan base for the disappointment following that and the vitriol. And do some people take it too far? Of course. What's fan derivative from? Fanatic.
Mm-hmm.
There is going to be people who take it too far. No question. And that is, you want to throw around lunatic fringe? Every fan base has that.
Yeah.
There's none that don't. They all have that. Okay? This is no different than any place else. The last time you saw that team play, they did not even remotely resemble what you saw on Saturday night. Not even close. So to sit here and say, how dare they not just be appreciative of all of it, all the while talking about that game for 4 hours. I mean, you couldn't even. There was very little in terms of. I mean, of course they were talking about the game, but I didn't see anybody throwing stones at Tennessee. I'll have more on that in a second. The way they threw them at Indiana and SMU, saying they didn't belong. There wasn't any of that.
They sure did.
Yeah. So you're going to go at people for how they responded to a loss to the rival, a series of losses to the rival, all the while talking about that game over and over. The disconnect was stunning to me. It was really stunning.
Well, I told you he's been removed a little too long, and I think, like I said, I get it because I have friends that's outsiders, and they say the same thing where it's like, people don't want him there because he lost a game, but he's 66-10 and all, or 67-10 now. Huh? Shout out to you, 67-10. Y'all want him gone? And I was trying to explain to him like the reason why the fan base felt the way that they felt. And he just couldn't understand it. And it's just like, you won't get it. You don't get it because you're not from here. You're not a part of it. So you just don't understand it. And I think to the national media, that's kind of where they are. They just don't get how significant that game is and how bad that they looked. And when you think about $20 million and you talk about championship and bust and you talk about your goals and all of these things.
We talked about it all off season.
And then you give that type of performance, like, people's going to look like, what the heck happened? You got everything you need. How did you not? Why did we look so bad? And then to go out there and look this good, people going to be like, well, why didn't y'all do that against the team up north? Like, that's going to be the question now. So it's like I think people just are losing how important you look and how well you play in that game. nowadays.
There's a give and take with it. I referenced this last week. Jalen Hurts at Alabama. They lost to Auburn in the Iron Bowl. Okay? Shocking loss to Auburn in the Iron Bowl. Then they won the SEC, and they won the national championship. And he's walking around Tuscaloosa with an Auburn jersey on while holding the College Football Playoff national championship. So what I'm saying is, if you do lose to Michigan, then you should have beat Georgia a couple of years ago. Right? You lost to Michigan, go win the national championship.
Yeah.
Nobody here thinks that they should beat Michigan every time they play them. Michigan's a real program. They're the winningest program in the history of college football. They're the national champs last year. You just shouldn't have lost to them this time.
I do.
And what this win against Tennessee does is it alleviates some of that. People are still bewildered by it, and they're going to be bewildered. Go beat Oregon in the Rose Bowl. Little less. Okay? Go beat Texas the next week. Little less. Win the Natty? Come on.
When they win the Natty, I think all the talk is done. Like it's it's all
Right.
done. Like it's all is right. And all the people that was like, I don't care about them winning the Natty. I just want them to beat the team up north in the Big Ten. You're lying to yourself.
You're lying. You'll be in the parade.
You will be at that parade.
You'll be at the parade route is how it's going to go. All right. There was also a wild discrepancy in how these teams were talked about, and none of these games were good. They were all blowouts. We'll give you the answer as to why coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
We're the highest rated sports radio station in America. There's no joke there. We just are. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Better is around the corner in 2025. Feeling better, getting rid of joint pain once and for all. Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. QC Kinetics patients are able to walk up and down the stairs like my dad, tailgate with their friends. They can finally sleep without pain waking them up. That aching, they can feel normal again. That can be you. 2025 can look very different than what the past years have looked. So call QC Kinetics and say goodbye to the shoulder, the knee, the hip, the back, whatever's aching you. QC Kinetics and Dr. Ray Tezer and his team, they're waiting for your call with the treatments right in the office with no downtime, no drugs, no surgeries. Their advanced protocols in regenerative medicine have helped tens of thousands of people get lasting relief. No steroid shots. And if you've been told surgery is your only option, well, check out a second opinion and go check out QC Kinetics. The consultation is free. Go to QC Kinetics/Columbus, or even better yet, call 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544 with offices in Dublin and Gahanna.
I'm an old school Joe, and my philosophy is real simple and effective. It's not what you win or lose, it's what you save. And betting reduced juice at Prime Sports Ohio is the way to save money on every single bet. Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit our website, primesportsbook.com. Use promo code JUSTSPORTS. Get a welcome bonus up to $100 and be a member of the Prime Sports family.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. Must be 21 or older and present in Ohio. If you or anyone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey everybody, it's Austin Ward here, and last time this year I was down 43 pounds after just 2 months with Awaken 180. I broke into the new year at my goal of 50 pounds down. It felt great, and it still does. Get the same results at awaken180weightloss.com.
This holiday season, Capital One reminds you to give yourself the gift of 1.5% cash back with the Capital One Quicksilver Card.
Can I earn 1.5% cash back on birds? Birds? What if you sent your true love 2 turtle doves plus a partridge in a pear tree?
Sure, but why would anyone want that?
The song was very convincing.
Earn 1.5% cash back on all your holiday purchases with the Capital One Quicksilver Card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
You've got a Pepto predicament, festive feaster.
Who wants another slice of Grammy's famous pumpkin pie?
I do not. I think I need to lay down for a minute. You overdid it on all the family favorites, and now your stomach's throwing a Yuletide tantrum. Undo it with Pepto-Bismol.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Pepto Chewables provide fast 5-symptom relief, so you can get back to the feast and the festivities.
Who's ready for some games?
When you overdo it, undo it with Pepto. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Here at The Fan, we give you 14 hours of live and local programming every day. We care about you. We live and work in your community. Except Bo Bishop. He won't tell us where the hell he is. Your live and local station. Except Bo. The Fan.
Healthcare.gov has plans for health because you have plans for life. All plans cover doctor visits and emergency care to keep you and your family running strong. All plans cover hospital stays and prescriptions so you can have peace of mind. Visit healthcare.gov to explore health plans from the brands you know. 4 out of 5 customers can find a health plan for $10 or less per month with financial help. Healthcare.gov is here for you. Final deadline to enroll is January 15th. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Hey folks, it's game day and the betting's gonna be intense, Drew.
You said it, Dave, but a good pregame routine keeps betting responsible.
That's right, you gotta pause before you play.
Good call. Sports betting is hot, but it can be risky.
And pausing to set limits is an all-star move.
That's right, Dave. If you bet on sports, pause before you play to set limits, recognize the risk, and know when to stop.
Learn more at pausebeforeyouplay.org.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Satellite and radar shows a weak cold front off to the west. Most of the daylight hours today will be dry, but after about 9 o'clock tonight, we'll have showers moving into the area. Tonight's low will be 36. Christmas Eve, cloudy with a high of 43. Christmas Day, cloudy with a possible stray shower, high 42. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 TV weather impact forecasts on 97.1 The Fan.
We're your radio home for the Buckeyes, Browns, and all the NFL games you can handle. We may have a bit of a football problem. Oh, yeah? The Fan, Ohio sports destination. The uncle you never knew you had. The friends you kind of wish you didn't. This is Bishop and Friends.
And we are sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Fast, sustainable weight loss without the medications. The solution for weight loss is Awaken 180 Weight Loss. One of the things that was railed against by ESPN and their personalities, Herbstreit, chief among them, was the fact that Indiana did not deserve to be in this playoff. Went on some pretty good rants about it, both on game day and also Friday night and into Saturday. And the thing that I just thought was quite puzzling was why that standard was not applied also to Tennessee. Because I didn't hear anybody talking about how Tennessee did not deserve to play in that game. I was watching, Chris Fowler does these things on Instagram, which I really like. It's like nightcaps, and then he talks about the game that they called. And he was talking about the game, and he talked about, again, he referenced Indiana, like how they just had no business in the game. And I thought, what about the game you just called? He even said Indiana made it look closer than it was with the late touchdowns. What about the game you just called? It was 42-10.
It was way worse.
It was way worse than Indiana.
Don't get me wrong. Indiana was 20-3 for the majority of that game, but Ohio State was rolling Tennessee. It like from a physical standpoint, from every element, they got dominated in this game. Tennessee also should be talked about. Maybe not the same as SMU, because SMU probably was the one that was the most overwhelming. I don't know why a lot of people pick Indiana. I feel like SMU's was maybe because they was driving the ball and
because it was on at noon. Because it was on at noon and it went opposite the NFL at 1 o'clock.
So they didn't see it.
So I don't think people saw it.
Oh, it was bad.
And Indiana was all by itself, Reese.
Similarly with Texas and Clemson. That went head to, I mean, that was probably the most competitive of the 4 games, Texas Clemson, because Clemson actually made a game of it late, but those 4 games, overall duds in terms of the competitive nature of all 4 quarters.
I think I have this. Is it 77 points is the total margin in the 4 games? Total margin of victory.
Sounds right.
Here's the reality of it. And this includes Tennessee. This includes Indiana. It includes SMU. It includes Clemson. It includes Alabama. It includes Ole Miss. It includes South Carolina. Everyone going to bat for give me a break. South Carolina? What are we talking about here? Here's the real truth. You want the real truth? There aren't 12 great teams.
No kidding.
There aren't.
No kidding.
This is college football. It's not the National Football League. There aren't 12 teams who are created equal. There are 3 or 4 every year who rise up above the rest. And sometimes there's 5 or 6. Sometimes there's 1 or 2. But when you do a 12-team playoff, you are going to invite teams who do not deserve to be there. Clemson lost 3 times this year.
Yeah.
3 times. They have no business being in this thing, right? They have no business being in this thing, and they got in. They got in because you got to do 12. And guess what? It's going to be worse when you get 16. People who rallying for, Alabama deserved a shot. Alabama lost to that Tennessee team that did not deserve to be on the field with Ohio State. Get the hell out of here with that.
I agree. I said that. Listen, I said that, and I got criticized. Again, your homer bias. I said,
how is Indiana any different than Tennessee?
It's 4 teams that actually can win this whole thing. Maybe 5. You give me O-State, Oregon, Tennessee, Texas. Excuse me, not Tennessee. Texas, Georgia, and Notre Dame. And Georgia, with the quarterback situation, might put it back to 4. That's it. I don't know why. It was fine with the 4 teams. I don't know why we up in arms.
Because of money.
I know that's what it is, but like, come on now. Like this, maybe they're going to do some reseeding. I don't know.
There's no way to make it right.
You're right.
Not everybody deserves it.
I agree.
There aren't 12 great teams. Go ahead, Reese.
How do we think the quarterfinal games are going to go?
Okay, dude, you asked the question. Look at this.
Two of them is going to be bludgeoned.
I'm going to tell you this right now. We mentioned this last week when we saw the lines for the first round games, and the smallest line was 7. It was the smallest line. Everything else was much bigger. I don't remember what it ended up going out. Was it Texas 13.5 or something like that against Clemson? Notre Dame's was pretty big. Penn State's was pretty big. Look at the college football quarterfinals. Penn State is favored by 10.5 against Boise State. Texas is minus 14 against Arizona State. What in the blue hell is Arizona State doing in here? Why are we going to act? Everyone going at, I heard Sean McDonough going at the Big Ten. Well, why does the Big Ten get all this respect? Why is the Pac-12? I guess the Big 12, whatever Arizona State's in. Why do they get all this respect? How'd the ACC fare in this thing? How'd that go? How'd the ACC fare in this thing? The Big Ten, by the way, still has 3 teams in it.
That's what I was about to say. What are you talking about?
3 teams in it.
Is that the most out of any other one?
Yeah. Texas and Georgia in the SEC. That's it.
Yeah, I don't know what and the crazy thing is they put it to where it could have been actually if Ohio State and Oregon didn't play, that could have been 3 in the top 4. They really would have been upset.
Here's another thing they really screwed up. Ward Manuel, your boy from Michigan.
Whoa.
Who comes out and goes,
careful.
The losers in the conference championship games are not going to be punished. Why? Why would they not be punished? Ohio State played Penn State. They won in State College. And Penn State gets this path?
Yeah.
This thing was flawed from jump.
I can't believe Penn State actually gonna make it to the semifinals. Like that's.
Oh, dude, Boise can't block them.
What?
You think they're gonna block Abdul Carter? They're gonna block that front?
Well, I gotta see what Teo and Birch did. What in the game against Boise? I know it was
so long ago,
I know, but I just want to see.
Yeah, I don't see it. I don't see Arizona State being anywhere in the vicinity of Texas.
Texas look good. Texas, that running back, that blue,
they got 2 of them.
That boy hit the gas when he hit the open field. I was like, you ain't catching it.
Yeah.
You ain't catching.
By the way, like for all of the complaining about all of this, acknowledging that there aren't 12 great teams every year, and now we're going to go to 16 next year, you're going to get blowouts. That's what this sport is. This sport is the haves versus the have-nots. It's been that way for 100 years. That's not going to change. There will be an upset on a given Saturday, sure. But by and large, chalk holds. That's what happens in college football. The good stay good.
They wanted to be. They wanted to be like basketball.
It ain't like basketball.
They just wanted to be. They was praying for an upset at some point.
There is all of these things delivered exactly what Vegas told you they would be. These lines were huge in these games for playoff games. This wasn't the NFL, but they delivered incredible environments. Notre Dame's environment on Friday was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That was an awesome environment.
Penn State was awesome.
Penn State was rocking.
Yeah.
Texas was rocking.
Yeah.
The shoe was rocking.
Yep. That's about it, though.
The folks showed up.
They did.
And they provided environments. Remember, there's no students at any of these games. There's no students. Students aren't even here.
Yeah, they on winter break.
They're on winter break. They're not even here. This thing was so... it's blanked up is what it was. They blanked up the whole thing. Yeah, they blanked up the calendar of it. They blanked up the notion that 12 teams were deserving. There aren't 12 great teams.
I wonder why nobody has said anything about Tennessee.
You know why.
It's because they're the SEC?
Yeah. We're supposed to have blinders. That conference, and I'm as big as anybody, will tell you that historically, over the last 25 years that I've been covering college football at the high level, that's the best league. They got a bunch of teams who have won national championships. They have the most talent. You can look at recruiting. You can look at who gets into the NFL draft. You can look at national championships. It's not one or two teams. It's a bunch that have won national titles in the last 25 years out of that conference. A bunch of them. And they put more guys in the league than anybody else. All of that can't be disputed. It also can't be disputed that this year they weren't it. This year was not a great year in that league.
Texas.
Nobody else needs another bite.
You thought Texas would be the big dogs out that league, and they couldn't even win their conference.
There were two great teams in the SEC, Georgia and Texas. That's it.
Yeah, Georgia look rough.
There's three really good teams in the Big Ten: Oregon, Penn State, and Ohio State. There might not be any good teams in the Big 12, and there might not be any good teams in the ACC. The reality is the 4-team playoff probably would have solved this.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, though, fortunately for us, rather, you're in the mix.
Yeah, I was about to say we wouldn't be in it.
Because we would not be in the mix. So we're in the mix. But the idea that these games were anything other than what did you expect to see? Did you not see the lines? Vegas told you what they thought of these matchups.
Well, we get two games this on New Year's with us in Oregon and Notre Dame and Georgia. That should be very competitive. The other two,
because the talent equates. Notre Dame's pretty close. Notre Dame and Georgia are similar talent. Ohio State and Oregon might be the two best teams in the country.
Yeah.
Okay. There aren't 12 great teams. That's the real truth.
That might be your natty right there, Oregon, Ohio State.
Yeah. Winner gets Texas. Good Lord. Austin Ward in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Make the most of your holidays with the Kroger app. You can enjoy over $600 in digital coupons every week. Get access to low prices and earn fuel points to save up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. The Kroger app makes it easy to save this holiday season. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Savings may vary by state. Fuel restrictions apply.
Save big on Kroger brand bone and hickory smoked spiral ham. Just 89 cents a pound with your card and additional $25 purchase. Limit 2. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Guys, listen up. How many of you out there have been diagnosed with sleep apnea? Maybe your partner can't tolerate your snoring every night. You can't stand your CPAP machine. I totally get it. But the good news is there are alternatives to the CPAP machine. And Dr. Mark Levy is here to change your sleep and your life. Trust me, your spouse will thank you later. Dr. Mark Levy can customize an oral appliance that opens your airways, helps you breathe better, and, of course, stops your snoring. That's the main point. It's quick and comfortable and an alternative to those bulky, loud CPAP machines you always hear about. For over 15 years, Dr. Mark Levy has led the way when it comes to treating snoring and sleep apnea, and now he's expanding his practice to better serve his patients with a brand new location in Marysville. I love Marysville. If you're snoring and not sleeping, you need to call Dr. Mark Levy's office today. Do not delay. Schedule your appointment today with Dr. Mark Levy at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. That's 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. You can also visit him online at sleepbettercolumbus.com. And now, sleepbettermarysville.com too.
Dormar, you're kind of cute.
My furnace just went out.
Ma'am, have no fear. Dormar is here. We can get that furnace fixed fast.
Dormar, you guys are the best.
Dormar, you're kind of cute.
Busy schedule? This is Ryan Krieger, and Krieger Ford has you covered. Krieger Ford offers pickup and delivery, or our mobile service van will come right to you. It's fast, easy, and hassle-free. Schedule your appointment today only at KriegerFord.com.
Want to know anything about the Fans contest, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
He knows everything about the Buckeyes. He's been offered tens of dollars by a certain team to spill his secrets. He's told that certain team to go to hell.
Damn you all to
Austin Ward.
Indeed he is, and he joins on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Well, buddy, I think that's what we all thought we were going to get with this Buckeye team. It happened on December 21st. Maybe the perfect timing on it. As you're sitting there in the shoe on Saturday watching that performance, what is going through your head? Because last week you and I talked and we said, I don't know what I'm going to see. What's going through your head as you're watching that?
Exactly what you said, Bo. Like, this is what we thought we were going to see every week, all season long, all the time. And, you know, maybe that's not reality when you're dealing with college-age kids and a different era of college football and really any era. You're not going to play your absolute best every single time out. I've worked with other coaches previously that's like, hey, you hope to do that 2, 3, 4 times a year. Like, that's about all you can ask for to get a team to reach its absolute peak emotionally, physically, preparation, game plan, the whole deal. And it did come together for Ohio State on Saturday night. And when that happens for them, I don't think that there's any team in the country that can beat them. And certainly Tennessee was not in the same league ballpark conversation as a fully operational Ohio State Death Star. And would it have been nice to see that on November 30th? Sure, it absolutely would have been. And then the situation would have been different. They wouldn't have had to play in the horseshoe on Saturday night and have to deal with Tennessee and the elements and all that. But that wasn't the hand that they dealt themselves. I think the way that they responded is remarkable. A tribute, in my opinion, to every single person in the program. I made that point on Saturday. It was complete. From preparing from the elements and preparing a game plan and everyone in between. I think everyone in the operation for Ohio State deserves credit for what they did. And now they get a chance to go duplicate that in the Rose Bowl. And if they do, look out, because this team, when they are playing like that, I don't believe they can be beat.
Austin, is your friends from Tennessee still talking to you after that performance? I know they were a little upset.
Oh, yeah. Got some interesting texts on Saturday night, Ivis. You know, they wanted to be, critical. One person was trying to call in the middle of the press conference, and I'm like, guys, I'm sorry that you're sad and drunk, but there's nothing I can do for you right now. And they were, they wanted to make it sound like they had a miserable time and that Columbus was a second-rate city. And I just said, hey, thanks for stimulating the economy and buying the tickets and the drinks and have a safe trip back to Rocky Top. But I don't feel bad for you.
No, and I think I talked about this a lot today already, Austin, and there has been a lot that has been thrown at the Ohio State fan base over the last 72 hours, unjustly. Yeah. I think a lot of it. And I've gone over some of the pushbacks that I think should have happened but didn't. I think it can be true that Tennessee was pretty fired up for this game and had an incredible showing, and you tip your hat to them and you say, God bless you for being stupid enough to stand in the cold at 9 o'clock in the morning, 11 hours before a game. God bless you. And that they showed up. They bought tickets and they showed up. It's been a long time for them. They haven't won an SEC since 98. So they hadn't been on this type of dance floor. And also fair that this fan base, which so much is asked of, I mean, you think about hoodies, jerseys, tickets, ratings, contributing to NIL, that they could have had a little protest too. But I do think it's important that from here on out, there is a kumbaya between all of it, because this is one giant Buckeye nation, and I'm hoping that Saturday was a bit of an elixir for all of it.
I hope so. And look, you have to also, when I'm spreading around the credit for the program, I don't think that the number that was thrown out on the broadcast was accurate. I think the fact that Tennessee got there early, before Ohio State fans, right when the gates opened, inflated the sense of how many people were there. Now, they had a ton, and I think it was 30,000, and it was, 70% Ohio State fans. But the people, that amount of the fan base, I think, deserves credit as well, because they also had to pay more money. They also had to go sit out in the cold, and I'm going to call them the true believers. And I don't mean that as a slight to anybody else because of what you mentioned, that I can understand where the frustration comes. I can understand reaching a boiling point or a tipping point on November 30th because of donor fatigue, money fatigue, loss fatigue. I don't mean that as a criticism to the people who didn't want to be there or who sold tickets, but two things can be true. You can also give credit to the ones who were there, and they were incredibly loud, and they were not shaken, and they took an opportunity to support their team in a historic playoff game, and they did that. And they were rewarded with the best performance of the season by their team, and the team rewarded, gave that back to them, an experience that they won't forget, which was when they cranked up Rocky Top at the 2-minute warning in the fourth quarter and started chanting SEC and getting to revel in that moment. That's what you hope for. Like, if you go through the hard times and the adversity and the pain of losing, and generally Ohio State is going to come out on the other side better for that. And I think that everyone that was together got a special moment. And as you said, and now there's no looking back on that. You have the Rose Bowl, you have Oregon, you have a chance to rectify one of the wrongs that happened here. And I'm pretty confident that if it was 75% that were excited for Saturday night, it's going to be closer to 100 by New Year's Day.
Let me ask you about this, Austin. I want to ask you about two players, particularly on the defensive side of the ball, that career-wise they've had moments but haven't had the consistency. Together. Yes. The Jack Sawyer and Julian Tuimoloau, those two played out of their mind. Do you think this is the way we're going to see them for these last, hopefully, 3 games? Or do you think this is one of those performances that because of the loss to the Wolverines, because they wanted to prove something, that they play out of their minds?
I mean, I would love to see it 3 more times. And I talked to both of them in that staircase after the post-game press conference on the Notebook on Saturday night. And I made that same point to them. And I put it to them. I said, we've seen, JT, you at your best thinking about the Penn State game. It hasn't happened week in, week out basis, but we know what that looks like. And Jack Sawyer, for you, it was the second half of last year. You went on an absolute tear, and you capped that with a phenomenal performance in the Cotton Bowl that's largely overlooked. But, we didn't think that both of you guys were going to be here for 4 years. I know that that's surprising and disappointing, and also a reflection of the fact that you did not ever put it together at the same time during any of those previous 3 years at the level that we anticipated when Ohio State signed 2 5-stars in the same class. Like, they have been together, and I think I give them a lot of credit for acknowledging that. They don't push back on it. They know that it has not worked out the way they envisioned the moment that they stepped foot on campus. But, if it took that long to get together on the same page, to unleash their full potential, hey, it's better late than never for Ohio State. And if they do that, like, if you think back now 2 months ago, 2 months in a week to Eugene, what did we talk about, Tyvis, the Monday after that loss? No pass rush pressure, no sacks, no real hurries on Dylan Gabriel at all. So we've got the true test. Now, they have done it. They did it in a playoff game. They were, like, phenomenal. I can't say enough about them. If they go do that against Oregon, that was the difference in the loss in Eugene 2 months ago. And if that's the part that gets corrected and everything else stays the same, there's no question who's going to win this game.
So I'll get you out of here on this one. Will Howard, just quite honestly, brilliant. His one interception shouldn't have been. There was a pass interference on it. He spread it to everywhere, all over the field. He made you defend every blade of grass. But it's not just that. It's the leadership with him, too. He's completing 73% of his passes on the year. He was 82% in this game. Everything was a layup for him, made deep throw. Everyone saw it. It was stunning. You talked about guys who've been here 4 years. This is a guy who grabbed a program by his throat in a year and now is in position here to put an exclamation point. He was brilliant in the Oregon game except for 1 yard and 1 second. And so you want to talk about a kid who's in a position. I like my chances with him.
I've been, since the moment Will Howard arrived, and it's easy in spring football, you're not going to face true adversity, but they didn't just hand him the job. And so I think the way he approached it from the moment he got on campus, understanding the situation he was in, and go out there and compete and prove yourself. All right, you check that box. I think, every moment that he has faced adversity, you mentioned Oregon in the slide, he went right into the post-game press conference and took accountability for that. The interception at Penn State, he went right back out there, responded, never lost confidence in himself. Even after what happened in Michigan, he was one of 2 players that went to the post-game press conference and he said, this team can still make a run and I'm going to do everything possible. I've taken note of every step along the way he's responded. He has not lost any faith that he can lead Ohio State where it wants to go. That's important because the mentality at that quarterback position and the scrutiny you're under and the pressure you're under to perform is unlike anywhere else. And even when things have gone poorly for him, he has not sulked. He's not backed down from the next challenge. He's looked forward to it. And he deserves so much credit for that approach to the game. And, you know, I think the way he played on Saturday night was a reminder that he was probably not physically himself on November 30th. He was at his best. He can give Ohio State exactly what it needs. And you make a great point. Everything up for 59 minutes and 59 seconds in Eugene was all that you could ask for. And now he gets 60 more minutes to make up for one. I don't even really consider it a mistake because it's not a situation you can prepare for, but he gets a chance to atone for that and erase that. And I know you could tell immediately afterwards that he wasn't lacking in that confidence going into it. He's got even more now.
I couldn't agree more. Great stuff. Appreciate your coverage all weekend, buddy. Appreciate it the next week or so as we head out to Pasadena. It'll be warmer there. Thanks for your time, buddy.
All right. Looking forward to it. See you guys.
All right, that's our buddy Austin Ward, the podcast Out in the Eyes on the Rivals Network on the Bryan Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. We had a little thing or not a thing up next. Bishop and Friends right here on the Fan.
Struggling with high cloud hosting costs and endless management headaches with your Microsoft Azure or AWS environment? Contact AmericanEagle.com for an assessment and see how they can save you time and money.
The Ohio State Coaches Daily Show is brought to you locally on the Fan by Credit Union of Ohio.
This is the Jake Diebler Daily Show, brought to you by Encova Insurance.
Ohio State 85, number 4 Kentucky 65. The Buckeyes, the big win here in the Big Apple. Where do you start in celebrating this big win of your first half of the season?
Well, I think it starts with the team. You know, I thought the theme coming out of the Auburn game was we have to find solutions together. And when in-game adversity hits, we got to solve it together. We need to be in attack mode together. We need to be together with our communication. And I thought our guys really, really did a great job. So I think it starts with the team. Certainly some really impressive individual performances. And Bruce Thornton highlighted that with, you know, his clutch free throws and just in the moments of the game where it had a chance to shift, I thought he really came up big. And that's what, you know, a leader, that's what a veteran and one of the best guards in the country does. So really, really thought he led the way.
We'll have another comment after this.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, 2-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer, both on and off the field. That's why Encova Insurance and their local independent agents are prepared for what's next and protect what matters most to you. Whether that's your home, car, business, or family, Encova's got your back with a policy that fits you perfectly. With local independent agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs, Encova's playbook is an easy win for your peace of mind. You can trust their team of agents to develop a strategy that's just right for you. And it's not just X's and O's. Your expert agent will guide you and provide insurance solutions so you can confidently manage your risk and count on a financially secure future. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you. Encova is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
85-65, Ohio State over Kentucky.
Yeah, Coach, this Kentucky team leads the nation in 91 points per game. So efficient with their offense. When you say defense and the connectiveness of that, what does that mean to the basketball fans out there that you may not know the X's and O's? What does it take to be able to play that type of team defense?
Well, I think it's executing coverages and the communication it takes to do that, you know, with the switching that we did off the ball. And I also think it playing together when they did get an advantage, there was someone there in most cases to cover up for their teammates. And that's what being a really good defense requires because – listen, you know, we're going to go against other really good offenses, but we got to be able to guard together. We got to be able to execute together. Communication plays a significant role in that, but trusting that your teammate has you back, that if you do get beat or you do make a mistake, there's a second line of defense there to help.
This is the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey, basketball fans, Credit Union of Ohio wants to help you score more by making life more affordable. It's time to play with a team that helps you win every day. Credit Union of Ohio's loan rates have dropped to provide affordable financing for the things you want and need. It's time to reevaluate your current loans and consider refinancing with a team that cares about you. Check out current specials and get started scoring more money at cuofohio.org. That's cuofohio.org. NCUA insured, equal housing lender.
Everybody knows that Roosters is a fun, casual joint with their award-winning waitstaff, great food, fun, and laughter. It's a quick stop on the way home to sit back and unwind or grab a carryout. Roosters is where you, your family, and friends can order pizza, sandwiches, salads, and more. And the home of award-winning wings that are fresh, never frozen. It's your family's other dinner table. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
This wasn't how Patrick pictured himself in retirement. Instead of playing golf every day, he could barely walk because of his severe knee pain.
It hampered everything because it hurt to walk around the golf course. It hurt to swing, just pretty much hurt doing anything.
But the groundbreaking regenerative treatments at QC Kinetics changed everything for Patrick. QC Kinetics uses your body's own healing properties to help repair and restore damaged tissue in your knees, hips, back, and shoulders. No surgery, no drugs, no downtime.
The turnaround's been amazing from where I was to where I am now. I am gone from a 15 handicap down to a 7 handicap. That's because my knees allow me to play golf like I haven't been able to play probably in 15 years.
Don't let joint pain keep you from doing what you love. Call QC Kinetics today for your complimentary consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Fast, sustainable weight loss without medications. The solution for weight loss. Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Find us on YouTube. Search WBNS Radio and you can see what Bo looks like. But only if you subscribe. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, time for a little thing or not a thing. Hit it, Reese.
Thing or not a thing.
Sponsored by Apex Plumbing Pros.
All right, we had talked about this last week. Joe Burrow gifting his entire offensive line custom-made Japanese katana swords.
Yeah.
Well, he was, after the Browns were beaten by the Bengals, Joe Burrow was asked why he decided katanas for his offensive linemen.
Well, they wanted guns. And I was like, I don't know about guns, guys. And so I was in the weapon mindset, and I was like, what's a cool weapon? And samurai swords, I think, are pretty dang cool. And Nicole, she works for me, and she was able to go and find them for me. So she did a great job finding the best ones out there. So I think guys were excited about it.
Thing or not a thing?
All right, the coolest thing about that whole thing is this kid's from Athens, Ohio. I covered him in high school. He showed up when you were there. Mm-hmm. The idea that if you would have told anybody then, he's going to, what was the girl's name? Nicole, she works for me. That's the biggest flex. that he's done all of this, that he's got a personal assistant who goes and buys katana swords for him. That's the best part of the whole thing.
What a life.
The ceiling, there is nobody would have saw this ceiling for him 10 years ago. Nobody. Yeah. It's amazing what is happening. And he's a total stud. It all works. It checks every box. I'm thrilled for him for the career he's having, and I love the idea of the katanas. I think that's cool. I like the line about they wanted guns, but I didn't think guns was a good idea. I thought that was pretty good. That just wins all the way across the board. But my favorite part was Nicole, she works for me. That was my favorite.
I tell you what, this part makes me miss being in the NFL locker room because of stuff like this. At Christmas time, guys start getting guys gifts. Obviously, position groups, usually they have a Secret Santa and all of those things. And it's some really cool gifts that you get in these moments right here. And just it's always, when I was playing, the thing that I always wanted to see was what quarterbacks got the linemen or running backs got the linemen, especially if it was the rich ones. Like if I was with the Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson gifted the whole team first class flights to wherever you wanted to go and stuff like that.
Where'd you go?
You know what the funny thing is, Bo? I never used it.
Why?
I never used it.
You could still use it.
Because I don't believe in vacation. Don't you know that?
So unhealthy.
Just
what
fly
is a vacation?
Even if you just flew from Seattle home, you could have flown first class.
I guess I could have done that. Huh?
You didn't have to go to
I didn't even think about
Bali.
that.
Like you could have just gone home first class.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to ask you: is it understood that in the room that like if you're like a practice team guy versus like Von Miller, like that the guys who have the money give the gifts. Is that understood?
When you in the position groups?
Yeah.
So when I was in
Sherm like I got this.
When I was in Denver, okay, it was and this is pretty much everywhere. Every team does this. All DBs. Every team that I've been on, the minimum the gift could be is $1,000. It has to be at a minimum $1,000.
No matter what your pay
No matter
is.
what. If you a practice squad first round pick, it's a minimum of $1,000.
Okay, all right.
And by this point of the season, you're a practice squad guy. You're getting about $4,500 a week.
Yeah.
So you should be able to afford $1,000 of a gift.
Okay, but do the guys who make
they go
$2 million a month.
They go above and beyond.
So they take care of it.
Yeah,
so like Sherm was like, I got this.
Yeah.
And like Von Miller's like, I got this.
Absolutely.
Okay, good. That's what my perception always was the guys who had a lot took care of some of the guys who had less.
Von gifted the whole team he gave everybody like a bottle of wine or something. Or it was an expensive liquor. And they was...
hold on. You do not drink, and they give you...
No. See, that's the thing. So I go into the locker room. Everybody got into the locker. He skipped mine. I said, what's this?
Yeah.
He said, well, you don't drink. I said, my wife does.
And then did he take care of you?
He said, you know what, I got you. And boom, he came and gave me I had like 2 big bottles. I can't remember what it was. I think it was a wine. I think it was an expensive wine.
Yeah, it's probably like Screaming Eagle or Opus One or something
crazy like that.
$1,000 a bottle.
You go give it to me. I don't drink, but I know somebody that does.
God, I can't believe you didn't use the ticket to fly home.
Yeah, I forgot all of it. I didn't even think about that part.
You just flew home.
I mean, you think about first class flight. I'm thinking like you gotta go to like Hawaii or something like that. Like,
that would be a good use of it.
Well,
but
vacation's just not in my mind.
You got to get it in your mind, brother. Get a little bit in your mind. A little bit of vacay.
Washington defensive coordinator Steve Belichick's expected to join his father Bill's staff at North Carolina in the same role after Washington's season's over. Huskies are going to play the Louisville Cardinals in the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl on December 31st. Belichick's $1.2 million buyout with UW goes away the next day. These sides, Bill and UNC, are expected to formalize an agreement soon after. Belichick's 37 years old. He spent 12 seasons as a defensive assistant in New England, 5 as the play caller before his stint in Seattle, Washington, ranked 27th in the nation in total defense this season. 324.8 yards per game is what the Huskies allow. A thing or not a thing?
Well, I assume that I think there's a big part of the reason that Bill Belichick is at North Carolina is for his kids.
Yeah.
That's what I think. Like, so now... if they have a decent little run here, everybody by now knows about how the buyout goes away. If an NFL job, it goes away. It's like $1 million buyout for him to go coach in the NFL if he gets a job in the league. So I just assumed that this was about his kids setting up a spot for them. So I assumed this was a foregone conclusion, so not a thing for me.
Yeah, I'm sure that this is just for his son to take over after he's done. But I tell you what, it's a nice start. It's a nice start to have a nice defense coordinator to come in there, and they say he ranked 27th in the nation. I like that.
Yep.
That's a nice start for North Carolina to, start off their season. Who knows? Maybe if Bill is around this year or for the next couple of years, maybe they can do something in the ACC. Maybe.
This is why I always bristle when people go at like LeBron for what he did for Bronny.
Oh,
Nepotism in sports is eternal. Eternal. Look at all the coaches. I mean, but we're going to hold it against LeBron for taking care of Bronny. Give me a break.
And I'd also say this. If you were in Bill's shoes or LeBron's shoes, you would do the exact same thing for your kid.
Of course you would. Of course you would do that. Hell, I got Bootsy coaching third graders next week.
Give him the whistle, coach.
Going to give him the whistle. See how it goes. All right, we will final hour of the program up next. We will blitz the Buckeyes, an impressive performance to relive. Hand out some game balls coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
The two most mature people working at the radio station. And that's just because they wear pants. The pervert and the skivvies. Rothman and Ice.
Weekdays at noon.
The Fan.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential. But finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
At Meijer, we believe the holidays should be a special time. A time when families and friends can gather for the simple purpose of enjoying each other's company. From the gifts and decorations which make the moment, to the fresh ingredients that make the meal. Count on Meijer to bring the magic of the season to life with just one stop. We're always working harder to make the holidays a good deal better. Meijer, bring more good to the holidays.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Twin Peaks Scratch Kitchen scores every time. Dig into hand-smashed burgers, chef-inspired flatbreads, and more at your local lodge.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. The Columbus Blue Jackets are back on home ice tonight. CBJ will skate against the Montreal Canadiens at 7 o'clock. Hear that game on the Fan with coverage at 6:30. No Elvis Merzlikins for morning skate. Daniil Tarasov and Jet Greaves were out there, and it looks like Greaves will get the nod in at Monday night. Jackets are back on home ice Friday hosting Boston. The NFL is going to put a bow on Week 16 tonight at Lambeau Field. The Packers host the Saints at 8:15. You can hear that one over on ESPN Columbus. Week 17 begins on Wednesday. That's Christmas Day. The Steelers host the Chiefs. The Ravens are at the Texans. In college hoops, the Ohio State men's basketball team upset number 4 Kentucky 85-65 at Madison Square Garden on Saturday. Buckeyes are back at the Shot this Sunday hosting Indiana State at noon. Hear more from OSU's head coach today at noon on the Jake Diebler Show. This update is sponsored by Dormar Heating and Air Conditioning. Need an emergency repair? Dormar can be there today, guaranteed. Visit them at dormarheating.com.
The best thing about watching football this weekend, talking football on Reaction Monday.
Sponsored by the Roofing Guys.
The Fan. The best hair on the air. You were listening to Bishop and Friends.
Before we blitz the Buckeyes, the Handsome Update anchor reported the Buckeye basketball score on Saturday. Kentucky can absolutely win a national championship. Like they're that good that they can do it. Jake Diebler and the Buckeye program, that's a damn good job out of you. Mm-hmm. That's a damn good job out of you. I watched some of this game. Most of it was on kind of the whole time. Obviously, it was a home game for Kentucky. Yeah. As you knew it would be. Big Blue Nation's going to go everywhere. They're the basketball equivalent of Ohio State football. They're going to go everywhere. And they did. Aaron Bradshaw had probably the best game he's ever had as a college player in his return back.
Off the bench, right? 11 points.
5 of 6 off the bench. He was incredible. 2 rebounds in the game as well. I'd like to see that come up a little bit. Bruce Thornton had his his best performance ever as a Buckeye in this one. And then Junie Mobley doing what he does. He was 1 of 8 from 3, but his threat level is always there. So good job out of Jake and the basketball Bucks, Reese. They needed it.
Yeah, probably the best Aaron Bradshaw, best 18 minutes of basketball Aaron Bradshaw's ever had in his life.
I watched him last year at Kentucky a lot. He never had anything like that.
Especially in Madison Square Garden. Also, shout out to Neil Sika and Ron Stokes. A great call on that game. Really cool for Neil to get that opportunity because it's the mecca of basketball. And for Ohio State to show out the way they did, it made for a really good weekend for the Buckeyes. The women won on Friday, beating Stanford. And the SEC taking big, fat L's all over the place.
It was kind of fun, All right, let's get back to the game that happened on Saturday night here. Let's blitz the Buckeyes.
Bishop and Friends present Buckeye Blitz.
Sponsored by your Central Ohio Toyota dealers. Visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
All right, we do this well. What do we do well, Reese?
Oh, we sure acquire talent. But more so than that, Ohio State puts that talent in space. When Ohio State puts that talent in space, I'm also talking about the offensive line. Because some of those runs by Travion, some of even by Will Howard, were set up because you moved your linemen. Like, you didn't do that during Michigan. We tried to move them up the field. But you need to move them around because when they do that, when they move around Jeremiah, when they move around Egbuka, you see what can happen.
For me, I put that we find number 4. That's the thing. We throw number 4 the ball, and we find a way to get him in, put him in one-on-one opportunities. You know, going into these games that these teams are going to have game plans for him, but they do a good job. For some odd reason, he gets the one-on-one matchup, and when they see that, Will Howard's done a magnificent job getting him that ball.
He doesn't get many, but if he's got one, they throw it.
Yeah, they got to. You have to.
If he gets them, they throw it. And he just makes plays. We throw the ball. Look, I know that you got the two backs. I get it. I know that Will can be a threat to run. But this team is elite at throwing the football. Will's been elite most of the year. I agree with what Austin said. I mentioned earlier in the show, clearly something happened with him physically in the Michigan game where he just wasn't. He was 7 of 8 before that injury in the game. So something happened there. We'll maybe never know. But he's really accurate. He can throw it all over the field. You got the best group of receivers in the country. You throw the ball really well. Won't beat Oregon if we continue to do what, Reese?
I wasn't 100% sure what to write here.
Yeah.
But, I mean, 4 of 9 on third down. I guess you'd like to see that. If we're nitpicking, you'd like to see that number go up.
I left it blank because, to be honest with you, the only way we won't beat Oregon is if this team that showed up on Saturday don't show up on the first. That's
it.
The only way we won't beat Oregon.
That's it. Won't beat Oregon if we continue to do what is nothing.
It's blank. It's nothing.
There's nothing. The only way that you don't is if you don't approach it the way you approach the game Saturday. That's it. So it's on you. And now, I am not dismissive of Oregon. I think Oregon, Ohio State, Texas are the 3 best teams in the country.
I agree with you.
And it will be a full day.
Yes, it will.
In the Rose Bowl. And they're going to benefit by not having to play what Ohio State played on Saturday. There's no doubt about it, that they'll benefit from the rest.
They could be rusty, though.
Could be. That could be there, too. I'd like to see more of what, Reese?
I see Julian Sayin out there.
What did you make of that? That Devin got the first run at it, and then Sayin, and then Keenholtz got the last one.
I thought it was. I understood it. I haven't loved it all season. I think if it's Julian Sayin's team next year, especially now with Brown in the portal, you've got to get him out there with the twos to run a complement of the offense. But if Devin's going to stick around with this, he's going to be your number 2 just because you don't have the faith that Julian Sayin can run it, or at least you don't think the coaching staff has the faith Julian can run it like Devin can.
I don't have a problem with that at all. I like to see more of this picks and sacks. That to me is when I seen IGB get the pick and I seen those guys come up with some of those sacks, I said that's to me is the key. If you do that defensively, it's nothing nobody can do.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think it's the sack thing. Now there's this whole thing in football in general about, pressures are just as good as sacks. No, they're not.
No, it ain't.
They're not. No. Getting home matters most. And so you can be around the quarterback a lot, and that's effective. And I think the conversation ought to be pressures aren't given enough credit, but sacks have now somehow become almost an equal. They're not. You got to get home. And I think you're going to have to get home against Dylan Gabriel. Yeah. You're going to have to be in his face. You're going to have to hit him over and over and over again. And I'm with you on that. Coach, you earned the courtesy car, Reese.
Well, everybody, I think, earned the courtesy car, but Chip Kelly for being in his bag all night.
Man, they had so much going on.
They did. It was.
Jeez.
That's the prince that was promised.
It was nothing.
Like that's the ending to Game of Thrones you want, not the kid on the throne.
Nope.
I went Larry Johnson on this one because of the way that line played. Even the backups coming in, the BS call on the roughing the passer, the fact that he got there and still hit the quarterback, like that's what I'm talking about. It wasn't. I know we spent a lot of time talking about Jack and JT, but Kenyatta, all those other guys, Tyleek, all those guys were in there and they wreaked havoc.
I'm going to go Ryan Day. He has had to. How many press conferences has he had since the Michigan game? 170. He's had a National Signing Day press conference. He had 4 press conferences last week. He had the one. He's had to answer that question for a month, and he rallied that team together. Did you see them walk out?
Yeah, with the red lights out? Yeah.
Did you see at the end of the game when he gave that look to Jack Sawyer and Jack Sawyer embraced him? That dude, those guys played for their coach. He let them play. He allowed the Ferrari to be shifted out of second gear into third, fourth, fifth, and so forth. It's a damn good job.
Mm-hmm.
Damn good job. Coming off of that to rally that program the way that they did and dominate Tennessee the way that they did. Good job out of Coach Day. That was fun. Game ball offense. Who do you got, Reese?
I wanted to give it to Will Howard's the obvious one. I'll give it to Travion Henderson. For the way
he ran so hard.
That touchdown run he had, that was it. You had if you didn't know before Trey runs it in, then you knew.
Mm-hmm. I'm splitting hairs here. Will Howard's the obvious choice, but I'm not going with the obvious choice. I'm going Donovan Jackson and Josh Fryer because those two guys, first of all, Donovan's performance was so good, I had to text him after the game. I talked to him yesterday. I had to text him. But him and Josh went up against those two edge rushers, and you never heard nothing. Not a peep from him. And that's a tough ask, especially for Donovan, for a guy who's just switching out the left tackle. But those two, to me, was the most important part of the offense in my book.
I mean, I'll do the obvious then, since you guys left it for me. Will Howard was sublime in this game, and Jeremiah Smith. You got 2 more years of that guy? I'm not convinced that if he were in this draft, he wouldn't go number 2 overall. I think New England would take him number 2 overall if he were in this draft. He's 18.
Is Jamar Chase the one that sat out a whole year?
He did, yeah. Don't talk like that.
I was just asking a question.
That was because of COVID. That was COVID.
Okay.
Yeah, that was COVID. All right, game balls defense. Who do you got, Reese?
I mean, I think I could, JT Tuimoloau, Jack Sawyer.
There's a lot.
Cody Simon playing with his hair. It was that whole unit.
Yeah.
I'm going, since you took my answer, I'm going with Davison Igbinosun.
0 penalties, baby.
That's what I'm talking about. Play clean, get a pick.
I do like how you do. I like that. I like that. Yeah, I mean, I think the tone was set on the first drive when Cody Simon cracked Nico Iamalieva's helmet.
Yeah.
I think the tone was set. And I give that kid a lot of credit because he kept going at it, but God, did he take a beating. Everyone was great. Caleb was great. Lathan Ransom on the tackle for loss when they're driving, that's so critical to get that and really kind of extinguish any hope they may have had. It was a complete, comprehensive defensive performance out of Jim Knowles, guys. Just completely dominant. Big Ten threat level. Who in the league impressed you this weekend, Reese?
Penn State was pretty impressive.
They were.
That's a real quality win for James Franklin. I think Kevin Jennings still, he just threw another interception. A brutal day, but their fans were great. All 4 games had tremendous atmospheres to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, Penn State is the obvious choice. Obviously, they was a dominant. I wasn't expecting their defense to be that lights out like that. I mean, to have that many picks. I think one of them went for a 6, or did 2 of them go pick? 2 pick sixes. So anytime the defense is putting numbers up on the board like that, I mean, they're real.
They're an operation that now has some belief, right? And their defensive front, with Abdul Carter's probably going to go 2nd overall in this draft. He might.
I don't know about that.
He's going to be in the mix.
He's going to be top 5.
He's going to be right there.
Top 5
He's going to be in the mix. He's a problem. Their defense is a problem. And Drew Aller has belief now. The two back, they just have a lot of things that are kind of going for them, and their path is going for them the most. I mean, it'd be shocking if they don't get. I mean, there's no way they're losing to Boise State. It'd be shocking if they aren't in that one, and then in a dogfight in the semifinal. Nationally, who has your attention, Reese?
I'm gonna go off the beaten path here and say Clemson in a loss. Like, they have a couple freshman receivers. If Klubnik he's got another year of eligibility. They should be back in that spot next year as ACC champ, representing in the college football playoff.
Yeah, they battled.
Yeah, they did. I was
Stayed
actually
in it.
I mean, they made that opening drive made it very interesting. They went right down and scored. I went Texas. Texas to me right now, out of this past weekend, was the most impressive to me. But just I didn't realize that both lines were so good, and then they got the running backs with the speed and. Quinn Ewers was really good over the middle, which, you called him check down Charlie.
He was.
He started to make some plays in the intermediate passing game, so I was like, okay, he's starting to get comfortable in there.
For me, it was Texas. You could have gone Notre Dame here for how dominant they were against Indiana. Penn State, we have already talked about. I agree with your point on Clemson, Reese, but I do think it is Texas. That Texas against Clemson was the Texas I saw against Michigan.
Yeah.
That was defend every blade of grass Texas. Like, they had that back. And they hadn't been that. And I don't know if it was Quinn's injuries or whatever, but they hadn't been at that level for a while. And they were at that level on Saturday against Clemson. Can this team win it all, grade, Reese?
I'm going to give them a B+, only because I still have the Michigan taste in my mouth, and I'm really worried about Ohio State's kicking situation.
That was we haven't talked about that. Like, to try that one was like... quite a way short. Yeah.
Why did you bring that?
It was quite
because it's a concern.
It's like 15 yards short on the 56-yarder.
Yeah, I'm going with an A. I had A+, but you bring up a fair point with the kicking situation, so I'll knock them down to an A.
Yeah, I think it's an A+. I think the team that we played Saturday can win it all, and I think if they play this way, they will. I think it's pretty straightforward. We'll go over what the road ahead is coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Death, taxes, and beating Michigan every damn year. This is your flagship home for Ohio State football. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Men, it's the holidays, the season of all kinds of hustle and bustle. But if your energy is down, if you aren't sleeping well, if your sex drive is MIA and you just don't feel like the guy you once were, maybe it's tough to get excited for all the holiday cheer. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, and if this sounds like you may have low testosterone. And if so, this is the season for you to get treated. At Tri-State Men's Health, we're experts in treating low T. If you're like most guys, you'll feel the change in just a few weeks. And truly, the results can be life-changing. You'll have improved mental clarity, your energy will kick up, your workouts will be better, your sleep patterns will improve, and your sex drive will likely heat up as well. So call us and don't go through another season with low T. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654. That's 800-900-9654, or go to tristatemenshealth.com. That's tristatemenshealth.com.
This holiday season, Capital One reminds you to give yourself the gift of 1.5% cash back with the Capital One Quicksilver Card.
Can I earn 1.5% cash back on birds?
Birds?
What if you sent your true love 2 turtle doves plus a partridge in a pear tree?
Sure, but why would anyone want that?
The song was very convincing.
Earn 1.5% cash back on all your holiday purchases with the Capital One Quicksilver Card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details. You've got a Pepto predicament, festive feaster.
Who wants another slice of Grammy's famous pumpkin pie?
I do not. I think I need to lay down for a minute. You overdid it on all the family favorites, and now your stomach's throwing a Yuletide tantrum. Undo it with Pepto-Bismol.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Pepto-Chewables provide fast 5-symptom relief, so you can get back to the feast and the festivities.
Who's ready for some games?
When you overdo it, undo it with Pepto. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Hey Central Ohio, it's Christmas. The decorations are up, the trees are glowing, and the presents are on their way. Even in today's fast-paced world of tech, busyness, and various ideologies, most of the Christmas themes still point to the message and hope of Jesus Christ. I think author Max Lucado said it best. The gift of a Savior born in a humble manger to rescue us from our sins. The world had waited for this moment for centuries, and when it came, it was everything we needed. Peace on earth, goodwill to men. God had not left us in our troubles. He had come to us in the form of a child, bringing joy to the hearts of all who would receive him. This child, Jesus, came not to condemn, but to save. His birth was the dawning of hope, the promise of forgiveness, and the assurance of peace. This is why we celebrate, not just the birth of a child, but the birth of salvation. In this crazy season, remember the true gift this Christmas. Remember Jesus Christ. From the Lindsay Automotive family, Merry Christmas.
Rise and shine, jabronis.
Quite a show this morning.
There's only one place where Buckeye legends lay the smackdown. Morning Juice with Bobby and Beamer.
Weekday mornings starting at 6.
Give me a juice box,
The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Does heel pain make you hobble just getting out of bed in the morning? If heel pain is affecting your ability to exercise and meet your walking or running goals, relief is as close as your local podiatrist. Podiatric physicians are highly trained doctors who specialize in medical and surgical treatment of the foot and ankle. Ohio Foot and Ankle podiatric physicians are available across the state and are devoted to providing the highest quality foot and ankle care. For more information or to find a member of the Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association near you, visit ohiofoot.org.
Healthcare.gov has plans for health because you have plans for life. All plans cover doctor visits and emergency care to keep you and your family running strong. All plans cover hospital stays and prescriptions so you can have peace of mind. Visit healthcare.gov to explore health plans from the brands you know. 4 out of 5 customers can find a health plan for $10 or less per month with financial help. Healthcare.gov is here for you. Final deadline to enroll is January 15th. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Finally, after a chilly weekend, we warm up today. Today's high 44, cloudy with a few showers late tonight. Overnight low tonight 36, tomorrow cloudy with a high of 43. Then on Wednesday, looking at a stray shower, otherwise cloudy, high 42. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 TV weather impact forecast on 97.1 The Fan.
We've been your Jackets flagship station since day one. All the goals, all the action, all the memories. Your home for the Columbus Blue Jackets, the Fan, Ohio sports destination. Bo knows many people. He talks to the interesting ones on this show. This is Bishop and Friends.
And so now what? Well, more games. Did it strike you guys watching on... It struck me as we're doing a Reaction Monday show on December 23rd that this is all going to take a little bit of getting used to. I mean, this is normally the holiday season, peak vacation time, all of that. And so that struck me. And then it struck me by the time this one went final on Saturday night with like... My brain went to, all right, now let's go win the Rose Bowl. And then that's it, right? Let's go win the Rose Bowl, and then we've done it. But then you're like, oh, no. And then you're going to go to Dallas and play Texas. And then you would have to go to Atlanta. Like, the idea of the road ahead for these teams, it's hard to wrap my head around. Tyvis, you're the one who's played at the highest level. As a player, how do 18, 19, 20, 21-year-olds wrap their head around what's coming here?
I think that the best way you have to do it is, what they're going to do is take it one game at a time. You can't think that far ahead. I think right now their minds should be solely focused on Oregon, and obviously it's going to be a lot of thought there. The fact that, yes, you got to go all the way to Pasadena, and it's essentially could be a home game for Oregon, but, Buckeye fans travel well. They're not going to allow that to happen. No. So you don't have to worry about that, the atmosphere. The Buckeyes will show up, and they'll represent well, but right now I think that if I was in this, I would be thinking, like, we got to avenge that loss. Like, because I know the Wolverine loss is big and all those things, but what really sinks to them is that Oregon one, because that was a game that they truly deep down feel like they should have won. And that would be like us playing Virginia Tech again. Like, you give me another shot at Virginia Tech? Oh, my goodness. Obviously, when we did it the next year, you seen the results that happened in that game. So I would imagine that that's where their mind is trying to avenge that loss any way possible.
Yeah. and I think that's helpful. It's not lost on me that you're going to go to the West Coast to play a West Coast team. You're going to go to a semifinal to play a Texas team. And you're going to go to Georgia if it is Georgia. If Georgia can get through, I don't know if Georgia can.
I don't think they will. I don't think they're going to beat Notre Dame.
I haven't seen Gunnar Stockton enough to know what he's all about.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw him in the SEC championship game. He was fine. But, I don't have any idea what he's capable of. Now, they got a couple of weeks to get, a game plan together for it.
Yeah.
And I know Georgia's defense is going to be real and all of that. But just that one feels like a total slugfest. The Penn State game against Boise State feels really lopsided to me. I don't see Boise on the lines of scrimmage being able to handle that.
Does Genty get 132 yards rushing?
He might.
I mean, that's kind of going to be the one thing.
Is that the Barry number?
Yeah,
that gets him to Barry.
I think he won 131 ties it. I think 132 beats it. Maybe.
Okay. Yeah. This goes back to something that we talked about a little earlier in the show, though. When you look at this, I think one of the big flaws. There's several flaws with this. Number one, I think as people who cover this sport, we have to get used to what happened in the first round, that there are going to be blowouts because there aren't 12 great teams. And if it goes to 16, there sure as hell aren't 16 great teams. There aren't. You also have to wrap your head around that not all conferences are created equal. You also have to wrap your head around that just because a team is in a conference and the conference might be really good at the top, for example, the Big Ten this year with Oregon and Penn State and Ohio State, Indiana was not on the level of those three teams. The same would be true of the SEC. Tennessee was not on the level of Texas or Georgia. They played Georgia. Georgia beat them up. Mm-hmm. They beat them up. So, and the same would have been true of Alabama or South Carolina or Ole Miss. Where was Lane Kiffin chirping on Saturday night about Tennessee?
He wasn't.
Where'd he go?
He did. He had something. I think he was talking about, I think the only thing I seen was something about the fans, the Tennessee fans or something like that.
Right, but you chirped all Friday night. Our buddy Paul Feinbaum did too.
Yeah.
That the committee blew it. No, the committee didn't blow it. As a collective, those of us who cover this sport blew it because we didn't talk enough about, we were so worried about the bottom of this bracket and who was going to be the last couple of teams in. Got news for you. It wouldn't have mattered who was in. Wouldn't have mattered. There aren't 12 great teams.
Random. I found out Lane Kiffin follows me on Twitter for some odd reason. I don't know what.
Probably from recruiting.
Maybe. I don't even know. I looked at it and said, he follows me. Why? I don't know. But anyways, I think that the point that they're still trying to make is they feel like if you put Alabama, Ole Miss, or any of those teams in against a Notre Dame or against the Penn State, that they think that it would have been more competitive. I think that's their only argument.
Okay, but that isn't a valid argument when the team that beat Alabama got boat raced here.
Yeah.
So you had your opportunities. Alabama got crushed at Oklahoma. Crushed.
Well, see, but then they'll say that's not fair to say that because
why? It happened.
No, I'm saying they'll say, for example, you'll say that Ohio State chances against Texas is pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Texas boat raced the Wolverines and we lost to the Wolverines.
But what I'm telling you is there is what we're comparing is Tennessee and Alabama. Tennessee was the last SEC team to get in.
Yeah.
Okay. They came here and got battered. So why are we crying over spilled milk for Alabama?
I thought that they were crying over the SMU or Bama.
They were, but that's their mistake.
It is their own fault, yes. 100%.
Tennessee, SMU, and Indiana, and Clemson, and Arizona State, and Boise State, they're all the same. They're all the same. They're not on the level.
I mean, what I don't understand is why they making such a big deal. They all would have lost.
They all would have lost. That's the point. There aren't enough great teams. College football has a hierarchy. There's a class system to college football. And maybe over the course of a decade, guess what? College basketball used to have a class system. Go look at the 60s and 70s and who won national titles. Go count UCLA, Kentucky, Indiana national titles in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. It's the same teams won it. Carolina, Kentucky. It's the same teams. But then what happened? The the tournament expanded, more teams got bites at the apple, more people decided to care about college basketball, and it started to even out. And now you have a randomness to college basketball that's there every year, where you go to an NCAA tournament in the hoop side of things, hell, there's 15 teams who could win it. We'll get to a point where this college football playoff was 16. You're going to get to a point with NIL and free transfer and all of it where there will be, if it's a 16-team playoff, there might be 8 who can win it.
Yeah, I agree.
The reality is that for this year, in year one, if I were to tell you at the start of this playoff, especially with the injury to Carson Beck, you're going to have Ohio State, Oregon, and Texas or the field. Y'all would have taken those 3.
For sure.
Okay? So that's college football is not there yet. You don't have parity in college football. You just invited more people to the party, and it's our fault that we didn't put the proper context on it and have the proper belief in it. This is not the National Football League. All rosters are not – there's not a system that is set up for parity. The NFL provides that. It provides parity. There isn't a system. In fact, it's the opposite in college football.
You don't think that a parity maybe – like this, it'll make it more interesting if the Big Ten and the SEC just took their best 5 and went against each other. You don't think that would create parity?
Well, no, that would be exactly what I'm talking about. That would be hierarchy.
Well, at the end of the day,
that's what college football is.
It's just 2 conferences, yes.
And you're not far from that.
Well,
they've already talked. That's coming.
Meetings. they've
already talked. That's coming. There's this playoff, and the television partners, they don't need SMU or Boise or Clemson. They don't. They don't need it. The reality is that if it was primarily Big Ten and SEC teams and Notre Dame, that they would get better ratings. There's no doubt.
No, that's a fact.
So that's what this is. That's the needle they're going to try to thread. But like the notion that all of these games this past weekend were blowouts and that somehow that's the fault of the committee. No, that's college football. That's all it is.
I just don't know why they think. I don't know what they thought. So they're just mad that they were blowouts. That's all it is.
Everyone was watching on Friday night as Notre Dame dominated Indiana, and they threw 1,000 stones at Indiana. SMU was sheltered a little because of the NFL going head-to-head with it on Saturday, and there was so much going on from a sports standpoint on Saturday that they were shielded from it a little, but not much. And by the time you got to Saturday night, there was like the realization of everyone who was critical of Indiana and everybody, and some people who were critical of SMU, there was finally a realization of Tennessee's the same. They're no different than SMU or Indiana. They're not. They didn't deserve to be there either. That's the reality. There aren't 12 great teams. And that's what we found out. And so we're going to have to get used to this for a while.
That's why they should have put it to 6 or 8 and left it at that. That would have been fine. The 12 thing is ridiculous. I'd have boosted it either to 6 or 8 teams, and then that would have been it.
You can't put the clown in the box, though, or back in the box, I should say.
And Reese, as you and I both know, the clown's box is going to get bigger.
You don't like 12? Well, how about 14? Oh, 16. Soon.
It's going to be 16. The calendar has to get fixed. There's a lot going on here. But for all of the negativity in terms of the way that the games were played, the atmospheres were electric, and that's what college football is about as much as anything. That's what sets it apart from the NFL. It is those atmospheres, and those atmospheres delivered. They absolutely delivered. Jackets back on home ice tonight. Shelley time in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
At the Home Depot, we know you can't control everything, like when your guests arrive too early for Saturday college football. But you can control your grill. With the Traeger Timberline XL, you can watch the game, not the grill. Monitor your football feast from anywhere using the Traeger app. With the Timberline XL, you can bake, smoke, sear, fry, and saute. That's Desmond Howard level versatility.
Huddle up, the food's done.
Defend your game time with Traeger and the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Adam Schefter here with Vivid Seats. We've got some late-breaking news coming out of the stands. According to multiple sources, Vivid Seats fans are scoring rewards on every purchase and at a rapid pace. Obviously, these rewards are a game changer, and coupled with their MVP-worthy ticket selection, why get tickets anywhere else? Don't drop the ball this season. Shop with Vivid Seats and earn rewards on every ticket. And as the official ticketing partner of ESPN, Vivid Seats is offering you $20 off your first $200 ticket purchase with code Schefter. That's code Schefter.
What's better than giving a gift everyone wants? Getting free gas and groceries by earning perks on gift cards purchased at Giant Eagle, Market District, and Get-Go. Choose from hundreds of gift cards to make everyone merry this holiday season from the biggest retailers and best brands, all while earning you free gas and groceries. Stop in our stores for bonus perk offers on gift cards. Give the gift everyone wants and get a little something for yourself, too. The holidays are magical at Giant Eagle, Market District, and Get-Go.
In the U.S., there are about 60 million adults 65 and older. And last year, nearly 1 million of them were hospitalized due to flu, COVID, or RSV. That's nearly 1 million people who planned to go visit family or see friends, but ended up in the hospital instead. So get this season's vaccines and don't let flu, COVID, or RSV make you just another number.
Risk less. Do more. Get started at vaccines.gov. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. The gloves. Shelley time.
Oh, indeed it is. Jackets and Canadians tonight, 7 o'clock, nationwide. Always a fun one as it leads into the Christmas holiday. Time for a little Shelley time on the Bryant Heating Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Best Christmas as a kid for young Jody Shelly.
Ooh, they're all so good.
Yep.
Geez, that's tough. First of all, I can't remember them all, but I know they were all great.
Was there a toy? Was there
always
a stick?
The new hockey stick.
Yep.
You know, under the tree. I remember once I got an outdoor hockey net. You know, when we were kids, we played a lot of street hockey.
Mm-hmm.
You just put two nets in the street, get the neighborhood together, and go out there and play with an orange frozen ball, which always hurt. But I remember coming down, and Santa had left me I could see it in the dark across the room. I had that hockey net. Oh, and I also once got a dog in my stocking. Santa left me a Chihuahua.
An actual dog?
In my stocking.
Oh, my gosh.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
St. Nick was good to you, brother. Was there ever has there been with your kids a challenging ask, one that puts stress on you and your wife in terms of, wow, how are we going to get this done?
You know what I love about this day and age? My daughter, who's 14, sent me a PDF of her list and with all the links. I just had to click, and the price and where to get it and everything was right there. I'm like, well, she's getting a good education.
That's pretty good. It makes it easy there.
Take out a hard workout.
Yeah, that makes it easy, man.
All the work was done.
Hey, I think what Jackets fans, it's interesting. Last time we saw him at home, you get an incredible performance against New Jersey and win 4-2, and obviously lost over the weekend to the Flyers, kind of crumbled late in that one. That's kind of where we are is when you're on home ice, and I assume that's something that's talked about a little bit, that when you're on home ice, let's try. This is it's a learning season for everybody, but when you're on home ice, give them everything that you got, and we did the last time out on home ice against the Devils, Jode.
Well, I'll tell you what, Elvis Merzlikins stole that game. I mean, he was sensational, and the Hughes brothers, along with the Devils supporting them, dialed it up, and they just couldn't beat Elvis. They got two goals late, but he was that good. And, you need to have games like that and then try to get your footing in Philadelphia, which I kind of thought they started slow, but they found their game. And then Philadelphia woke up in the third and made it a game. And unfortunately, it got away from them. But, yeah, listen, Nationwide Arena is a tough building to play in. It's because the fans appreciate this style of hockey. They know they're getting a team that takes a bite out of the opposition every game in the Blue Jackets, and you can feel their appreciation and how they're on top of the game. So the opposition comes in, they don't know what to expect, and then by halfway through the first, they're like, "Wow, this is not going to be an easy night." For those reasons, and the players love playing here as well. So it seems like we were here for that long stretch, but it's been kind of intermittent lately, and now we're home for I think 8 of the next 9 games, which is great. I mean, it's nice to take a little breath here.
You know, Joe, you talk about that last game. Last year, they struggled in the third period, and then this year, they got much better where they were able to close games out, and then Saturday happened. Is this something that you anticipate that they take a step back, or do you think this is just one of those one-off type things?
Well, you hope so, Tyvis, because, it's a big part of maturity is closing out games. You know what I mean? And just kind of sticking with the game. But sometimes as games go along, you kind of fall into the trap of the opposition. And Philadelphia wasn't going to go away. You kind of knew that. Elvis is a passionate player. He started hacking guys in front of him and got, whereas that kind of models how the Blue Jackets played after that first goal where they didn't just stick with their process. And I think that's something they have to get on here more consistently is it doesn't matter what's happening in the game. The next shift, you just kind of go out and take care of what you're supposed to do as a team. You know what I mean? You don't get away from it and try to do too much. And that's what good teams do in the third period. But I thought everyone to a man kind of got away from that game and fell into the Flyers' trap. And they ended up getting a couple timely goals and got that one in the end. But you hope it's a one-off. You know what I mean? That shows you the team's moving in the right direction. Sorry about all the noise here. The Canadians are skating in the background.
No, I like it.
I thought it was going to be a quiet skate, but they're very excited about the goals they're scoring.
We can hear. It's awesome. You can hear the puck. You can hear this. It's a win. It's a win for everybody. Looks like Jet Greaves tonight, if I'm seeing this right, Jode. Elvis maybe a little bit banged up, but the headliner is obviously Denton getting the call up. What do you make of the 2022 first round pick getting the call up to the big boys?
I think I like it. The break is happening. This kid was going to travel to Winnipeg today, go home for the Christmas break, be with his family, and that has changed. He's going to play his first game in the National Hockey League, and his family is here. So I think he's still going to go to Winnipeg tomorrow and have a couple days up there. But I think it's great. He's done a lot of really good things in his career so far in the amateur ranks in junior in Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. Mm-hmm. And then he comes into Cleveland last year in the playoffs and does really well. I love his poise. He's the real deal. He's a guy that is so smooth with the puck, and when you watch him, you think, oh, this game, hockey's easy. You know what I mean? And then you try to do it, and you realize, that's a lot of pressure and a lot of poise for a player. He moves it well. He skates well. He's smart. He's appreciative. And I like the timing here. They've just left him down there. We haven't heard his name at all. No distraction that he would be coming up, but he will be playing tonight here at Nationwide Arena, and I think it's the right time to do it. Looks like Severson might be the defenseman out here tonight.
Okay.
Jody, I saw that the roster freeze is coming to an end on the 28th. Do you anticipate the Jackets doing anything to their roster?
They've frozen that roster. It comes open on the 28th. They're going to do whatever they can to make this team better at any point throughout the year. They called Jet Greaves up on emergency recall. They had to do that due to the freeze. And then, there's nothing can be done right now, but I would anticipate, if there's moves to be made, and we'll see how Matejchuk does tonight. If he comes in and they feel like he's ready in the second half of the season, maybe there is a player here that they feel like they can move on from. But now they have 5 right-handed shot defensemen in the lineup tonight. The only right-handed shot they have is Fabro tonight with Severson's going to be out. That's what it looks like to me. So that's something that, that's a coveted spot because if you have lefty-righty, it's more natural for those guys to play that way. But tonight you've got 2 lefties playing on the right side, which makes it a little more cumbersome in some spots. But, we'll see how he plays, and hopefully he makes it hard and makes a decision easy to make a move.
All right, buddy, get you out of here on this one. Your pick to click. Who do you like tonight?
Well, Patrick Laine is in the building again for the first time since being traded to the Montreal Canadiens. He's got a bunch of power play goals for them. But for the Blue Jackets, pick to click tonight. I haven't really done my homework on this, but I've liked Sillinger. I watched Sillinger in practice again today. I like his game. I think he's going to have an opportunity here as they hit the break to be the guy to score tonight.
Love it. Merry Christmas, buddy.
Merry Christmas. Enjoy the holidays. I hope Santa's good to both of you guys and all your listeners, of course.
Yeah, we're well behaved. Right? I think
enjoy the break.
Yeah, we will. All right, buddy. Talk to you soon.
All right, see you guys. Bye.
What was your most memorable Christmas as a kid?
So it was, I can't remember, I think I had to be like maybe 5 or 6. My Santa brought me literally a wrestling mat, a wrestling ring.
Yeah.
And I had like 40 wrestlers. When I tell you, Bo, I sat there and played with them wrestling men all day. I didn't care about nothing else under the tree. And it was the wrestling mat that if you pinned them in the middle, it counts out loud. Oh my goodness. It was the greatest Christmas ever.
Who had the most wins in that ring, Tyvis?
Which wrestler
did? What you think?
The Rock.
Just wondering. I did the people's elbow at least 200 times.
So funny. I was going to ask a similar question, Reese, and I was immediately going to was it like Hulk Hogan or Macho Man, one of that previous generation? But of course, it would be The Rock. We'll get you 3 things. Got an NFL game to pick as well. Coming up next, Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Driving under the influence of marijuana is illegal, and a law enforcement officer can tell if you're driving high. If you feel different, you drive different. Drive high, get a DUI. Paid for by NHTSA.
1, 2, 3. The Daily Coach Ryan Day Show is brought to you locally by Credit Union of Ohio and by Hyde Park Prime Steakhouse on The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
This is the Daily Show presented statewide by Safelite Auto Glass. Coach, what a great win, a great lead up, a great week of practice. Did you guys execute the game plan as you envisioned tonight?
No, I thought overall, we put a lot of focus on execution, like you said, and I thought we had an overall physicality about us in the game. And so that's what it's going to take as we move forward. We got a lot of football ahead of us. Got a good team out in Oregon, so we're already getting our sights locked in on that. But when we're playing physical and we're executing like we did, and also being aggressive, that all played into it. You can see, what type of a team we are, and we want to be playing our best football right now. I think you saw some of that tonight. We got to keep building on it.
A comment, just a moment.
Hi, this is Paul Keels. This Buckeye season, don't let a broken windshield ruin your game plan. Safelite Auto Glass makes it easy to get your windshield fixed with their mobile glass shops all over Central Ohio. They can come to you anywhere, giving Buckeye fans more time for game time. OH? Man, I love that. Schedule at safelite.com. Safelite Auto Glass is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Safelite Repair, Safelite Replace.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you're planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Ryan, let me ask you about the way your defense kind of took control of that game from the start. You guys had a fast start. How important was that tonight?
Really important. I thought, the defense came out and really stopped the run. At one point, I think the quarterback was their leading rusher and gave up some stuff at the end, but thought the DBs understood that they couldn't give up very many explosive plays. We want to keep it in front of us. We want to get lined up, force them to, drive the entire field, and not give them any explosive plays. But when you do that, you also have to stop the run like we did. So the guys executed the game plan. I thought Jim and the staff put together a good plan, and the guys executed it.
What will it mean for this team to go to the Rose Bowl and have a chance against Oregon once again?
Well, it's an opportunity for redemption, after the last time we played them. So our guys are really going to look forward to this trip out there and obviously this game.
It's the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
What do football and finances have in common? The team you play with makes a big difference. Credit Union of Ohio is your financial team to help you save and spend like a winner. Whether you're looking to make a big purchase or find ways to build up your savings, you'll always work with a team player at Credit Union of Ohio. Navigate your next big money play easily through Credit Union of Ohio's website at cuofohio.org. That's cuofohio.org. NCUA insured, equal housing lender.
For more than 35 years, Hyde Park Prime Steakhouse has been known by Buckeye Nation as serving the best steaks in the city. Our thick-cut, aged steaks have been a staple in Columbus with 3 locations, in Upper Arlington, Dublin, and downtown. Hyde Park is proud to introduce our newly added wine room at the downtown Columbus location, where a new elegance in dining will surround you. And coupled with live entertainment every weekend, Hyde Park will be the perfect setting for any occasion or the perfect night out. Hyde Park is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text HIM to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text HIM to 321-321. That's HIM to 321-321.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Fast, sustainable weight loss without medications. The solution for weight loss. Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Connect with the show on X at 971BFS. Jump in our YouTube chat or just send a raven. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Ohio State football putting it out there. They will be in white jerseys. I would assume gray pants. They wore white over white in the game at Oregon, which is just stunning. Did you guys ever wear white over white?
Yes, I had 2 picks every time we did it. It was my favorite.
No, those are in the cocaine whites. That's the alternate, right?
Oh, no, yeah. Are you talking about like regular white jersey?
Regular white with white pants.
No.
That is a clean look.
Yeah, I like it.
That's a clean look.
I like the all white over the all black. The all black uniforms, I didn't play well, so it's probably my worst game as a Buckeye, to be honest with you. The first time we wore the all black uniform.
What game was that?
We played Penn State. They had this running back by the name of Saquon Barkley. I went on to miss.
Whatever happened to him?
I went on to miss like 6 tackles, got hurdled in the game. Just the worst game of my life.
You got hurdled?
Yeah,
Saquon hurdled you?
Yes, he did. It was, Bo,
Yes,
I never told you the story. So we sitting there, we watching tape. He hurdles the guy from Illinois.
Yeah.
Corner from Illinois. And I'm laughing at it. I'm watching the tape laughing. Like, look at this. Hey, this kid got some bounce to him.
Yeah.
I was like, but you know what? I'm 6'3". There's no way.
That's hurdling you.
He ain't hurdling me.
No.
So we get out there to the game. He hit. I still got to play on my phone. I look at it every now and again.
Just to humble?
Yeah, you gotta because it's. I'm in disbelief that he did it. So I'm coming down. I see them run. Joey strings them out. So I'm coming straight down, and it's me and him. And I'm like, oh yeah, this it right here. Yes, this is about to be a nice little TFL. And sure enough, he started rising up in the air, and I said, I know he not doing that. I know you're not doing this. And I'm like, wow. I stand up and I'm like, wow, look at that. And
Dude, the image is, I just pulled, the
sick.
image is sick.
Yeah, no.
Because you're not even down low.
Not
You're
at all.
high.
Yeah, I almost want to get it printed and have him sign it if I ever meet him. That's how good it was. You know what? And then,
I have not seen this image before. This is crazy.
It is. Yeah.
He's 6 feet in the air.
Tell me about it. That's why, Bo, I shook his hand after the game, and when I did my NFL, meetings and all that, the question they asked is, who is the best player you ever went up against? I said, that man, Saquon Barkley, he's going to be a sophomore next year because he was a true freshman at this moment.
Yeah.
That kid is going to be something special. I'm telling you right now. And yes, he's proven me right.
All right, Reese, we got a Monday Night Football game tonight. You and I, first time combined that we are not going to have a winning record.
This has been a rough one this week.
Rough week. Man.
Fortunately, we get to kind of move on from Week 16. Yeah. Very forgettable because Week 17 starts on Wednesday, but both of us 6-9 entering tonight's Monday Night Football contest that you could hear over on ESPN Columbus. That's 1460 on the AM dial. But at 8:15, the Saints are at the Packers. Green Bay is a 14.5-point favorite in this one. No idea.
So much. It's so much. I just
14 and a half.
It's just Rattler. I just don't know if they can do anything offensively. I'll go Green Bay winning 23-3. I'll throw them. I don't know.
Yeah, what the heck? I'll do it too.
I just don't know.
I just no confidence in myself right now. So
it was a rough week. What do we have on the poll today?
So the Daily Fan Poll asks, did Ohio State's performance against Tennessee change your expectations for this team in the playoffs? 76% of you say yes.
The opposite of our poll last week. Do you trust this Buckeye team?
This time last week, it was inverse.
Inverted. Yeah. All right. 3 things on a Monday. Hit it.
1, 2, 3 things.
Sponsored by Custom Air. Custom Air. Custom Solutions. Custom Comfort.
Number 1 for me, all of the proof was there on Saturday at how half-assed they threw this college football playoff together. ESPN was running college basketball regular season games that they were contractually obligated to run. ABC contractually obligated to run the FCS semifinals. So on national ABC network, it was South Dakota State, North Dakota State, and South Dakota at Montana. While opposite was SMU and Penn State and Texas and Clemson on Turner. They didn't think about any of this, guys, and all of the proof was in the pudding with what happened in programming on Saturday. It was really stupefying to wrap your head around. By the way, Bobcat's going to win it all. Dominant. Good job, boys.
Number 1 for me actually it ties right into your number 1 because there was a showdown Saturday that was must-see TV. Problem is, I don't know if anybody saw it, myself included, because I didn't even know it was going on. You had Juju versus Page. But it was going on at the same time as these football games. And I didn't even know that it was even going on because I hadn't seen it on TV advertised or anything.
No, it's too much.
And I'm upset that I missed it because that's like Bird versus Magic right now.
Yeah. Yep.
It looks like you can add Shannon Sharp to the list of people not happy with Kirk Herbstreit. I guess him and Chris Fowler took a shot at First Take last week or over the weekend when discussing the college football playoff, or discussing Ryan Day and his job security. First, here's Shannon from this morning on First Take, quote, if we're going to be on the same team, if we're going to work for the same network, don't do that. Kirk, Chris Fowler, I promise you, if you ever mention any platform that I'm on again talking about, I wonder what they're going to say as negativity, I promise you, ESPN ain't going to have enough bosses to keep me off y'all for what I'm going to say. Don't play with me, end quote.
Isn't the point of those shows for ESPN people to debate and take shots at other ESPN people? That's the job. That's what they do. They argue with other ESPN people. They're loving all of this. The network is, for sure. Number 2 for me. So NBC turned 13 last Wednesday. Played a basketball game. They won. Then he went skiing on Saturday and busted up his face on a rail. Fell off a rail and busted up his face. Bloody lip, eye all screwed up. I'm like, what are we doing? Let's be done. Then yesterday, he talks my wife into allowing him to go skiing again, and he very may have broken his left wrist. I said, dude, this is not a good start to it, man. This is not a good start to it. So he's got x-rays tonight. Godspeed. I hope it turns out. But just a brutal first few days of being a teenager for NBC.
He might need to just stick to the tube.
He might need to just play hoops in hoop season is what he might need to do. That lesson was sent by his father, I assure you.
Number 2 for me, I found out that Common Man is not a team player. I did not know that until maybe 30 minutes ago. It's New Year's resolution. I'm starting to think about what I want to do for New Year's resolution, and I pitched to him. I said, you know what? We should give up bread together. Just go a whole year just not eating bread. He shot me down.
He's not going to do that.
He shot me down.
Jeez. He loves bread. He's Italian.
Well, he can go a year without bread. Think about the shape that he'll be in.
Think of how miserable he'll be.
That's the thing. You might look good, but you're not going to feel good. You're going to be angry the whole time, or angrier. I guess, in his instance. A tip of the cap to Ray on the YouTube chat, who gave a shout out to Ohio State staffers from facilities to the fan experience and everyone involved in the Buckeyes' first-round CFP game. He called it, quote, one of the most electric game day atmospheres I've ever been at in Columbus, end quote. He did this via the YouTube chat, and it really goes to my point that I made Friday, that I made Saturday on the pre-game show, that home field advantage in the first round of the college football playoffs, awesome. Good job, everybody involved.
Yeah, it really was. It checked every single box of it. This is the last one for me for the rest of the week. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays to everybody out there. I will be back next week to get you set for the Rose Bowl, but really thankful for all that listen, and it means a lot to me and all of us here at the program that you do.
Merry Christmas, Bo. Last one for me. Real quick question: what do you get somebody if you got them a gift but it don't deliver until after Christmas?
Picture of the gift
for Christmas.
Picture of the gift.
Okay.
Is it a kid or is it a wife?
They may
adult or kid?
They might be an adult.
Okay, picture of the gift is fine.
I say, could you do just the receipt?
I guess.
I just do picture of the gift. That's fine. Adults are. Yeah. Kids, you'd have to scramble.
Not the most enviable position that you're in.
Yeah, kids, you'd have to scramble. Adults, you're good.
Okay.
But I'll piggyback on Bo's point because I'm off this week as well. Tyvus thinks I'm lazy.
Shame on y'all, too.
Talk to you guys Monday. Appreciate everybody. Happy holidays. Tyvus, you can come in tomorrow, your day after Festivus grievances, if you'd like to air those with the two of us.
I will, actually.
You can. All right, Jake Diebler up next. We are back tomorrow. Bishop and Friends, right here on the Fan.
Matty Ice is currently bathing himself in creamy jalapeno dip. And I've officially run out of ways to tease this show. Rothman and Ice.
Weekdays at noon.
The Fan. This is a Fan Action Update.
Download the Prime Sports Ohio app today or visit primesportsbook.com. Use the promo code JustSports for a welcome bonus of up to $100. Tonight on Monday Night Football, we got quite the mismatch. It's the Green Bay Packers, a 14.5-point favorite over the Saints, minus 1,100 on the money line. Saints to pull off the monster upset is a little more than 7-1. For your Prime Sports Action Update, I'm Scotty Vegas.
Adam Schefter here with Vivid Seats. We've got some late-breaking news coming out of the stands. According to multiple sources, Vivid Seats fans are scoring rewards on every purchase and at a rapid pace. Obviously, these rewards are a game changer, and coupled with their MVP-worthy ticket selection, why get tickets anywhere else? Don't drop the ball this season. Shop with Vivid Seats and earn rewards on every ticket. And as the official ticketing partner of ESPN, Vivid Seats is offering you $20 off your first $200 ticket purchase with code Schefter. That's code Schefter.
Hey, I'm Brett Podolsky, co-founder of The Farmer's Dog. We make fresh food for dogs. We started the company when we saw what a huge difference it made in my own dog, Jada, when she stopped eating ultra-processed kibble and started eating fresh, whole food. The Farmer's Dog food isn't fancy. It's just real food, delivered to your door in pre-portioned packs. It's better for them and easier for you.
Get 50% off your first box at thefarmersdog.com/trial50. That's thefarmersdog.com/trial50.
Hey, Jackets fans, we know what's on your holiday wish list. Ask your Secret Santa for a Blue Jackets holiday gift pack. You'll score 2 tickets plus a Blue Jackets helmet shirt, all for just $99. Learn more at bluejackets.com/holiday.
Did you know a dog license is one of the best ways to protect your pup if you should get separated? Ohio law requires all dogs to have a current license. Protect your pal by registering for your 2025 dog license today. Visit doglicense.franklincounty.ohio.gov for more.